All right, I've run out of patience. On to Roost!
Hey, everyone.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Nerd Room, where we talk all things comics and movies. This is episode number 13. We're discussing the Civil War trailer and comic book stories we'd like to see on film. I'm one of your hosts, Tim.
I'm Sunjay.
And I'm Troy.
Welcome to episode 13, The Last Crusade.
For Sunjay. For a few weeks.
Yes, I am taking a hiatus after this, and me and my wife are babying up, and so you'll see me next time. I'll be a father and wiser, smarter.
More tired.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot more tired. So if I fall asleep in the next podcast, you guys will know why.
Song logs. You have to say, I got Batman vs. Superman to watch here, baby.
Yeah.
Back off.
In the delivery room, we have one TV. And
Yeah, you got to get through Daredevil, too.
Yeah.
Next week.
I still got to get through Daredevil Season 1. And Jessica Jones. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And
I don't know if you go to that.
Agent Carter. And Gotham.
To be fair, you're going to have lots of awake time.
And Arrow. And Flash. And Supergirl.
Yeah.
And Gotham.
DC. What's the other one? DC.
Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Pretty much every TV show.
Well, you
But I
have
digress.
Lots of time.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so. Well, in your free time leading into all this, what have you been reading these days, comics?
Well, I have been reading a lot. I just got caught up in Green Lantern, and, they've been okay. I really liked the initial run with Jeff Johns when they started New 52. That was an excellent run. This new run's okay.
Really selling it here.
Yeah. It's fine. Like, I don't hate it or anything, but I'm just ready for something a little bit different. I also read a book, Justice League of America #0. This was the reboot from the early 2000s, and the whole issue is just pretty much Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman, the Trinity, and it shows them throughout the years, all drawn in different styles. Really cool concept, really great book, especially with a little movie coming out, Batman vs. Superman.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering, we know who the DC Trinity is. Who's the Marvel Trinity?
Thor, Iron Man, Cap.
No way.
Yeah.
No Spider-Man?
Well,
It depends what you're talking about. Like,
Yeah.
Avengers Trinity is...
it's the big three: Thor,
Yeah.
Cap,
Yeah.
Iron Man. But I think the biggest is it's Spider-Man. Spider-Man's the
gotta
big
be there.
honcho.
Yeah.
Over there in Marvel. But for a big three outside of what Tim was mentioning, I don't really know what else you would.
Like the Marvel
put.
Trinity, Spider-Man has to be in there. This is all Marvel comics.
I say if we go to the 90s, it'd be probably Spider-Man, Wolverine, and you'd maybe throw Hulk in there.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
This time, Deadpool might make it in.
Yeah, maybe this
Yeah.
time next year.
Yeah. The Trinity, Deadpool, and Kitty Pryde, and Colossus.
Kitty Pryde.
Just throwing out names, all right? Tired.
What have you been reading, Troy?
Yeah, I've been doing Amazing Spider-Man, Daredevil, a little bit of Extraordinary X-Men, Invincible Iron Man, Batman, Scott Snyder run, Justice League Darkseid War, Grayson, the Agent series, and Star Wars, Darth Vader.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Crushing it.
Yeah, huge
it's-
list, man.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, but you know what, Marvel, I've said it before, after this whole Secret War arc that went on, right, we're now going into the all new, all different. It's just been phenomenal. Like, every run has been great.
Yeah.
I'm loving everything. So
Yeah, I've been slowly adding books week by week. So
Yeah.
I'm reading right now Guardians, Iron Man, the all new, all different Avengers.
nice.
And I just added in Sam Wilson, Captain America. Yeah,
Nice,
so
nice.
I've been picking those up kind of periodically. I just grab one issue and see if I like it. And I just picked up this week Star-Lord as well.
Cool.
And then that supplements all the Star Wars stuff that I'm reading as well.
Yeah.
So, and recently too, they did a Civil War prelude comic. So it was a 4-issue prelude comic, and now the ones the hard copies you could get were only retellings, basically in the comic series of Iron Man 3 and Winter Soldier.
Oh, okay.
But they put out one on the internet in their Infinite comic series.
Okay.
Which essentially you can only get it online.
Yeah.
And it's when you read it in the app, it's actually pretty cool because the word boxes and all that come up. and but it leads directly into Civil War. So it's a slightly new story that is essentially, you can tell where Civil War is going to start.
Cool.
Relative to the trailer and it's just kind of a small story, just chronicling a little bit of 4 characters. I won't spoil anything. 4 characters coming out of Winter Soldier and leading into Civil War.
Interesting.
Kind of skipping age.
That's similar to like what DC's doing right now with Batman v Superman, because there's a Lex little prelude comic.
Yeah.
I think there's a Superman one.
Yeah.
And then there's was it the Senator? There's
Holly Hunter's Senator, Batman, and I think that's it. Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Cool.
So
the Lois one. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Lois one. The Superman one was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
It's pretty interesting, showing how Superman, he interferes in, if there's a natural disaster or something like that, he'll help out. But if there's a war going on, he kind of backs away.
Yeah, he tries to stay away from it.
Yeah, and that makes the U.S. government a little bit nervous. So it's a cool concept. I hope they play with that a little bit in the movie.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
So these considered canon, these ones?
Yes, in the movie cinematic universe. Yeah.
Awesome. I like those little supplemental stories that we're getting from the different movies, because it's that one step above. Like, you're kind of going in with a little bit extra knowledge. Sometimes there's not a lot of exposition in movies, and this sometimes takes time to tie up loose ends or address things that maybe fans have been saying, why is this happening?
Exactly.
Why is that happening? Sort of thing.
Exactly.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Which is a big thing too, because the Man of Steel had a prelude comic as well with Supergirl.
Oh, really?
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yeah.
We still have yet to discover what happened with her pod. Yeah. Because you see it in the movie, it's open, but we don't know where Supergirl went.
She went to CBS.
Yeah.
Wednesdays at 7.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
So I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but the Captain America Sam Wilson storyline. So the 7th issue, I believe it's 7th issue, is kind of when they're celebrating the 75th anniversary of Captain America, and Joss Whedon is doing an 8-page story inside of it.
Nice.
Kind of retelling some of it. It's going back to World War II days and stuff like that.
Cool.
So he's coming back finally to Marvel to write a Cap story. So he's never written a Cap comic story.
Right.
Himself and John Cassidy, which is also writing this, wrote quite a long arc on Astonishing X-Men.
Yeah, Gifted.
Yeah. So they're coming back to that. They're writing a small story of Cap.
Cool.
And that drops March 30th, so look out for that. It's going to be
awesome.
A lot of fun. That's one of the reasons I jumped right into the Sam Wilson Cap. That was on my list of to-dos, but seeing that, I'm a bit more inclined. Like, let's see what Joss Whedon has to write. He's written Cap in cinematic form, and let's see what he does with him in comic form.
I'd love to see that.
That's
I'll check
awesome.
that out for sure.
For all the negative stuff about reboots, one of the cool things is, issue 1, issue 2, issue 3, you can jump on and get caught up instantly. That's one of the things that I think is underrated. I mean, you guys were saying you're trying out different stories that you probably wouldn't have read before. So, reboots work. I mean, they get you to try new things, and some things stick, some things don't. And, that's probably part of the reason why they sell so much better, and why companies are doing it more and more these days.
Absolutely.
At least give the appearance that you can jump into it.
Is it a little difficult? Like, if I try to jump into, I don't know, say like a Iron Man, would I be completely lost, or?
I think you'd get the gist of the story. I think anyone would get the gist of the story. We spoke about this a bit before. It's just some of the references they make that maybe give the story a bit, it rounds it out a bit more.
Yeah.
You're not going to get those. Some of those are from arcs that are like 2 years old.
Yeah.
And so it's hard. I think it is, some of the stuff's appropriate. Like the Cap Sam Wilson is pretty good, because this is, it wasn't too long ago that he became Captain America. And I think some of that you can jump into, but the all different. You'd be a bit confused as to why certain heroes are in certain places, but at the same time they're kind of reassembling. So you do kind of get that sense of, this is something new story, new Avengers team. So
All right, so moving on into some other news. I don't know if you guys read the interview with writer of Batman vs Superman and Justice League Part 1, Chris Terrio.
I heard a little bit about it.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll read you some highlights. Pretty interesting stuff. I highly recommend you check it out. Now, this guy wrote Argo. I think he won an Oscar for screenplay. Really brilliant dude. I'm super jacked. Just reading some of these comments just makes me even more excited for the movie. So he says, Batman v Superman is a bit of an Empire Strikes Back, or Two Towers, or any similar middle film in a trilogy. He says the middle film tends to be the darkest one. I do think from Man of Steel through Justice League. Now he's referring to Part 1 because he hasn't confirmed he's writing Part 2. It is one saga really. I expect Justice League will be tonally not quite as dark as Batman v Superman. thoughts on that initial statement?
It's pretty bold to compare the Batman vs Superman out of the gates. Maybe it will be, but pretty bold to compare it to one of the best second films in a trilogy of all time.
Right.
Absolutely.
I don't think he's saying like in terms of quality. That's yet to be decided.
Right.
I think he's just saying in terms of it being the darkest one.
Right. The tone.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And definitely in trilogies, the second one I think is normally the best.
For sure. Like Toy Story 2 was so dark.
Yeah. Toy Story 3 when they're going into the incinerator and they're holding hands. I didn't see a dry eye in the house.
Yeah, I guess it following that formula, you do see that. Like, we're going to talk about the Civil War trailer here, but that whole franchise, the Captain America trilogy itself, it really took a shift in Winter Soldier. The initial one, it was quite good, but it wasn't really dark, right? It was very comic book-esque.
Yeah.
It pulled a lot from the source material there. Winter Soldier did the same, but it was a lot darker, a bigger twist on Captain America that, maybe you weren't really expecting at the start of the movie, which is, it kind of alludes to the similar as far as being the middle film in a saga or a series, right?
Yeah. Totally. I mean, I really dig the darkness, especially with Zack Snyder at the helm. You know what you're going to get. I loved Watchmen.
Yes.
We've talked about this before.
Definitely.
I'm a huge Zack Snyder fan. I think you either get him or you don't.
Yeah.
And so, in terms of that, in terms of it being dark, I fully expect it to be awesome.
Yeah.
He then goes on to say, gotta shuffle my notes here. For Batman v Superman, I wanted to really dig into everything from ideas about American power to the structure of revenge tragedies to the huge canon of DC Comics to Amazon mythology. For Justice League, I could be reading in the same day about red and blue shifts in physics.
I was looking at this word.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read this.
Diodorus of Sicily and his account of the war between Amazons and Atlanteans, or deep sea biology, and what kind of life, plausibly, might be in the Mariana Trench. If you told me the most rigorous dramaturgical, I think that's what he said, you can tell why I'm not a writer now, an intellectual product of my life would be superhero movies, I would say you were crazy. So just hearing that, I mean, it seems like this guy really gets it. Like, he's really delving deep into the story. He's not just some guy who's like, this is my version of Superman, and he's going to write like a Christopher Reeve story or something like that. Not saying that that's bad, but I'm just glad, he seems to be moving on from that and into something more modern and, reading about the Flash and physics and Amazon mythology and Atlantean mythology. I mean,
He specs the source material, right?
Absolutely. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah. Has me excited.
Yeah. I mean, not that we need any more excitement, but reading this, are you guys a little bit more excited for Justice League Part 1, or you guys still a wait-and-see approach to see if this thing even gets made?
I'm running the wait-and-see right now. I think it's going to get made for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But as far as my excitement level, I'm going to let Batman vs. Superman drive that a bit.
Fair enough.
And if coming out the other end of it, I was seeing something special here. I'm seeing something that I want to continue to go back and watch, and I want to see these characters. I want to see how their stories develop, how they evolve as characters. I think that will hype my excitement more than hearing the writer say, he's been doing all this research. That's all fine, but let's see what it looks like on screen. There's one thing to write a good script. Yeah. There's another way to take that script and dissect it into a movie and, translate that written word into something that's really good, because you have that, you have the dialogue, now you have to fit the visual, especially with movies like this, that are so visually demanding.
Yeah, I'm going to say Justice League, he's writing the whole thing in Justice League, and Batman vs. Superman, we had David Goyer write some of that. And David Goyer's hit or miss for me. Like, he wrote the Dark Knight trilogy, but he also wrote Ghost Rider. So, he can either go either way. So, I'm really excited to see, Chris Terrio's entire movie. And, I'm thinking about this. I think they should almost just drop the Part 1 and Part 2 business and just call it Justice League and then the Justice League 2, the sequel. What do you guys think? I mean, Part 1, Part 2, those things haven't really worked out. If you look at Hunger Games or The Hobbit got turned into 3 movies. Yeah. It seems to be a new trend.
Yeah,
I think it works for money-wise, though, doesn't it? Yeah. For the box office, it works. But for story, it's a little different. Like, Harry Potter worked really well. Right? Yeah. The last 2 films.
Yeah.
And then what was the other one you said? Not Hunger Games, the one before you were talking about. The Hobbit.
The Hobbit,
That worked out as well, right?
Yeah.
It depends, though. If you have one story to tell, then, just tell it in one movie. But if that's it, then that's it. What would you say, Tim?
I think that it's more the Part 1, Part 2 is to give the audience the feel and the idea that it's a continuity of movie. You have these movies like Winter Soldier and Civil War. They're within the same trilogy, and they're within the same franchise, but they're told at different points in time. Where I
Right.
think 1 and 2 is trying to say, 1 happens and then 2's happening right after. I may be wrong in that, but you take a look at Back to the Future Part 2 and 3.
Yeah.
They're one right after another.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I think this is, we can't tell this in less than 4.5 hours or
Right.
something. So we need to split this into 2 movies. Sometimes it's a money grab, like I would say Hunger Games was.
Yeah.
So it's that you could have told that, and I think The Hobbit as well, you probably could have told in 2 movies.
2 movies for
As
sure.
opposed to 3.
Yeah.
But this is probably, we can't tell this in one single movie. We have to break it up. And I think it's just a hype thing too, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's, we're building off. So you might get a couple days separating the 2 movies in the cinematic timeline as opposed to, say, a year or 2 or whatever.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It depends on how they execute it too, because sometimes there's too much build up, right? So for Hunger Games, I think the first one was all set up, and
Yeah.
then the last one was just all action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't a really good balance at all.
No,
right?
I agree. You bring up an interesting point about these things, one after another. He also said, I don't know if he said this or who said it, but the Flash and Aquaman solo movies are not going to be origin stories. They're in fact going to continue the narrative of this one long arc that DC's putting out. Do you think that's a good move not to give us an origin story of 2 of the biggest members of the Justice League?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Flash in the TV series already.
Right.
Everybody knows his origin for the most part.
Yeah.
And origin stories are overdone now. Everybody
Yeah.
has an origin story. So now it's just good to just jump right into it. We know who the Flash is. He's the fastest man alive, and just get right into it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the comic book movies are doing this now. Even the Marvel Cinematic Universe seems to be shying away a bit from these origin stories,
Yeah.
introducing their characters in other movies.
Yeah.
Other Black Panther. So
I think
and-
his movie's not going to be an origin story they announced as well.
No, it's just going to take off out of Civil War. So you're
Exactly.
going to get some backstory in Civil War. You'll probably get a little more backstory in the Black Panther movie, but it's going to be driving forward. And I think that's when you get with Aquaman, with Flash, and all those. Is you're going to get some sense of where they're from, and then in their own movies, you're going to get again some retelling of the backstory. Same thing they're going to do with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to introduce him here. Hey, this is him. You already know his origin story.
Yeah.
We're going to drive forward with this character in his own movie, using the continuity that we've built in this single standalone or your group movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They're doing it with Batman already, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You don't need an origin.
Yeah.
No, we've already seen enough. All right, so moving on to the next bit of DC news.
Back with the paper.
I'm Ken Brockman. So recently got announced, or not announced, but leaked. DC rejected a Batman 89 comic. It was something similar to Batman 66. So this Batman 89 comic would have continued right after Batman Returns in the Burtonverse. So would you guys read that?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I'd like to know, would that lead into the Schumacher? Would that lead into Batman Forever? Because they're the same universe, those movies, right?
No, so this one here was actually going to just take over. So Billy D. Williams, actually, there's concept art of him as Two-Face.
That's right.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah.
Before he was Two-Face.
So it's
I
like
remember.
ignoring the Schumacher.
Yeah, this
universe.
ignores Schumacher's universe
Oh, okay.
and just continues as if Burton would have done his trilogy
Cool.
like originally planned.
Well, that definitely has my interest then.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
I
That's
would have
neat.
read that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I have a little affinity for those movies because they're
Yeah.
kind of the first superhero comic book movies that I remember watching as a
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
And to see them, I'm wondering if they would go back and say, we had originally planned X to be the Riddler, so we're going to use
Yeah.
a likeness of someone, right?
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, one of the people that they had, I think, for Poison Ivy was an actress at the time, and they did the concept art as her as Poison Ivy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
Oh, right
definitely
on.
that would have been awesome,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that would have been neat. I really like that tone of that movie because up until then, I mean, I was too young to read Frank Miller's Dark Knight, so all I
Yeah.
knew was the boom, pow, pop, egghead Batman. So, my first introduction to the 89 Batman was so cool, and to read that comic, continuing the story would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any reason why they've canceled it? Do you know, or was it like we don't want people to get confused? Or...
They didn't really say, but probably because they're trying to bring out this, Ben Affleck Batman.
Right.
So they don't want people to get confused and think Michael Keaton's Batman now, or
Right.
So I just noticed I say a lot. Every time I say you guys got to take a drink out there. So speaking of these, would you like to see any other movie or TV show universe continue in comic book form? Some of the ones I would like to see would have been Sam Raimi's Spider-Man continue after Spider-Man 3. See the redemption there.
Yeah.
And I would love to see Batman and Robin continue after that in the Schumacher-verse.
Oh, boy.
The neon lights and just see where he takes it. I would have loved that.
2-hour toy commercials. I love those.
Is there any other franchise you'd like to bring back from the brink of death and continue on?
I don't know. Maybe the Spider-Man, maybe a little, but a lot of these died because the narrative was just crap.
Yeah.
And they had kind of run their course as far as the film and the story. But, could they go back and do what ifs?
Yeah.
What if Spider-Man 3 was actually good? What would have happened to the universe
Yeah.
after, right? What if Venom was, a character that they took and didn't kill off in that or whatever they did to him?
Yeah.
So maybe it would be kind of fun if they kind of stuck around, but I could see them doing this if all of a sudden, all of our franchises are dying at the at film, or we need something to pump out comics, or even doing like these Marvel Infinite comics where we have these one-offs or one-shots of, this is what happened to Venom post whatever. But then you're into like a whole myriad of rights issues and all that kind of stuff. So it might be difficult to produce something like that.
Maybe that's why they didn't do it. Then they would have had to pay Byrne too much.
I think Blade 2, if we could scrap Blade 3 and go from Blade 2 and make a little comic series then, that would have been kind of cool. And like we were talking before we started recording, the 90s cartoon Spider-Man.
Yes.
Right? Like what happened to Mary Jane. So it would have been really cool.
After Secret Wars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Make it happen. That would have been awesome.
Well, we're seeing that already because there's the X-Men 92 comic, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah,
that's right.
yeah,
So
that's
continuing
true.
on that same style, the storylines. I'm not sure if it picks up on the same storylines or not, but it's the same style and all that.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
There is potential for these
There
things
is
to
potential.
take
Yeah,
off,
because
right?
they made another spin-off show called like Spider-Man Unlimited or something. And it was meant to be connected, but it wasn't like direct. So,
okay.
And Spider-Man goes to space, and it's just nonsense.
Fights a T-Rex or
Yeah,
something.
fights a T-Rex with a symbiote suit.
Oh,
jeez.
man. Jeez. So, moving into something that's not really comic book related, but has potential to impact us in a big way. So, we're big theater goers. We love cinema. Part of the experience of watching a movie is watching it with other people.
Yes.
People that you don't even know, but you just connect to a said movie. So speaking of that, just heard this in the news recently. It's breaking. It's red hot. It's burning up my paper. So there's this box you can buy, or it's still in the developmental stages, so we don't know where it's at. What movie is going to be the first one to come out with this? We don't know. But you pay $150, you buy this box, and then every time there's a new release movie, you pay $50, and you get the movie for 48 hours, and you can watch it at home.
$50 per movie?
Per movie. Is this the death of the cinema?
Is this like sanctioned by?
Yeah, the theaters are, going to back this.
Yeah,
Really?
Spielberg's
Yeah.
backing it. J.J. Abrams is backing it.
Yeah.
There's
What?
a couple. Yeah, there's a
For
couple
real?
big guys in Hollywood that are backing this box.
That seems mental that
Yeah,
these guys are.
Right?
I don't know if they're hopping on this because maybe they see that movie theaters are going to people's homes, so maybe they're trying to be the first ones to hop on this box.
The Netflix thing,
The
right?
Netflix thing, right? So I don't know. I mean, movie theaters have so much to compete against now, right? Before it used to
Yeah.
just be movie theaters against movie theaters. Now it's YouTube, it's comic books, it's Netflix, it's cable, it's everything they have to compete against.
I'm surprised that guys like that, because they shoot these movies and film these movies
Yep.
a particular way. I think, or I would hope that for the theater experience, the big screens, the big effects, the sound, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And so you're starting to watch these movies off. Not everyone's got a home theater system
Exactly.
with fantastic
Yeah.
surround sound,
Right.
with the 1080 or 4K or whatever
yeah,
viewing.
projector.
Yeah, exactly. So all of a sudden you're gonna have people watching these on 40-inch TVs
Yeah.
with just the TV sound. Like, you're not going to get that same experience.
No,
not what these
not at all.
like. People put time, effort, hundreds and hundreds of hours into making sure every single sound is right, is timed, is it's tweaked so you can hear it over top of things.
Yeah.
But I think it's an experience.
Yeah.
And I
Absolutely.
think you're ruining that experience with this thing. Like, yeah, sure, if you want to watch a comedy or something like that,
Yeah.
$50 is about what you'd pay in the theater
Yeah.
just by the time you
Yeah.
get popcorn
Right.
and stuff. But for some of these movies that require a theater-going
I know.
experience, you don't shoot a movie in IMAX to watch it on your small TV screen at home,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
But does it matter? I mean, look at something like Netflix, where it just came and it destroyed the home rental system or the home rental industry.
Oh yeah, shut it down.
Absolutely. If this thing gets released, I'm seeing 5-6 years from now, theaters are going to go the way of Blockbuster.
That's scary.
you
But
think
you know,
so?
I kind of
Yeah.
see it too. I mean, I'm kind of 50-50. I'm more of a theatrical guy, but at the same time, when you have big families out there, right? $50 to watch Zootopia, sure, why not?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because I guess
huge.
if you're thinking you're taking kids, you're into $100+
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
a night out or
Yeah.
to watch a movie. So some of this, maybe more economic. I don't know. Will they do limited things? Certain movies will be out. Maybe they'll cater it more towards families, or I don't know, because this starts to put a dent into box office, the weekend box
Oh,
office.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because instead of buying, 10 tickets, like if there's a movie coming out, you're going to call up all your buddies and say,
Yep.
hey, I just paid the $50. Everyone chip in $5.
Like, exactly.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
exactly.
like Fight Night.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And,
that's a good
yeah.
point.
what's to stop bars from doing this, or I guess maybe the sound in that, but you could do anything with this, right? You can have
Yeah.
30 people in your house to watch Star Wars the first night,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
no ticket sales. I don't know. I find it hard that those guys are backing this.
I know.
And maybe it's more of a studio thing that will be fighting against this, because they're the ones that, and the theaters, I guess, that
Yeah.
are at risk of losing the most money.
For sure.
Because like when a movie goes into theaters, the studio takes, I think, of the first weekend, they take the majority of the money, and then it's a subsequent follow-on weekends that the theaters actually start making money, making profit, right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
the first weekend is all like Skittles and popcorn
Yeah.
and soft drinks, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I find this really hard to believe that there's more than just, kind of fans backing this.
I know. And it's going to kill, like, smaller movies.
Well, what's
Think about the little movies that come out, right?
what's to stop like a smaller theater chain from paying the $50, displaying it on their theater, and charging $5 a ticket, and then making some money? Undercut the big cineplexes and landmarks.
Yeah, I don't know. There will be a mechanism to stop that. I
Yeah.
would imagine.
Yeah.
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 They won't be able to capitalize off of it.
No,
No.
definitely not.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's interesting. I'm not so in favor of it. I'm in favor in the sense maybe for particular movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't see myself saying, I want to go see Batman vs Superman or Civil War, or Star Wars, right? I want to see that in theaters. I
That's
want to see it the way
Absolutely.
it was meant to be
Exactly.
seen.
Like, I get both sides, but yeah, I definitely want to go to the theater and see
Yeah.
all these movies. And, the experiences we had as kids, our parents taking us to theaters was the
Yeah.
best. I would never want to, take that away from my kids. So,
Yeah.
it's. I do see both sides, but I'm all for theaters.
Yeah, I mean, when we went to see Star Wars, like people were dressing up, and the atmosphere there, I'll never forget that. To me, that sticks out almost more than the movie.
Yeah.
Which is like the anticipation, the buzz in the air.
Yeah.
That's all everyone was there to see.
Yeah, the atmosphere, right?
The lights go down.
Yeah,
It's just like
everyone
everyone
cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So that's one thing, I hope this thing doesn't catch on, because I have a feeling if it does, it's going to kill theaters.
Eventually, right?
Yeah.
It will.
I mean, we as a society, we favor laziness. We're like the people from WALL-E, where we're just in the chairs. That's where we're headed. With this thing, like, are we ever going to leave the house? I mean, we got your Netflix. You can watch your movie in theaters here.
You can order groceries.
You can
from
order
Walmart.
groceries. You can order whatever
action
you
figures
want.
from
Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Fly it right over.
Are we ever going to leave the house? I mean, this thing, to me, I'm strongly opposed to this. I hope it doesn't catch on.
Yeah.
Whoever's putting this out there, you should be embarrassed and ashamed of yourself. Give me a call and I'll give you a strong talking to. This is my impassioned plea. If you're out there, and another thing, if you're a person who loves the theater experience, don't buy this product. Show them that you're willing to go to the theaters. You're willing to go outside your house and not be a Wally guy.
Yeah. Don't be a Wally. Don't be a buy. Is it by and large? I think by and large back it up. Yeah. So
Yeah.
don't be either of those two.
So one of the theater-going experiences, interesting that we're talking about this,
Yeah.
that has gone the way of, we're going to call this the box or whatever you want to call it,
Yep.
is trailers.
Oh,
Yes.
boy. Did we get a trailer this week?
Yes, we did.
Oh, what could that be?
And trailers are something that I used to love going to theaters to watch, right? You never knew
Yeah.
it was coming out, but now we get them day of. They drop not even in theaters first,
Yeah.
out on the internet.
Would you have... Okay, so we were talking about Civil War trailer.
Yes, we are going to spoil the hell out of the Civil War trailer. So if you haven't watched it,
There's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
there's something wrong with you, or you've stuck to your guns.
We
Unlike
applaud you.
Yeah,
my-
which I applaud.
I'm
Yeah.
so weak. I lasted like 3 minutes.
I could just see Tim like on the computer like refresh and be like, oh, should I? I don't know. Looks, oh, there's Spider-Man. Oh, watch it.
But it was one of those things. I sent out a thing on Twitter. I was like, I asked all you guys. I was
Yeah.
like, should I watch it?
I
And
said
all you
no.
guys were like, no, don't watch it, don't watch it, don't watch it.
Yeah.
And then like 10 minutes later, I get all these tweets. It was awesome. It was amazing. I'm like, oh crap. Okay, I'm gonna watch it. Should I watch it? This huge internal struggle, and I've preached. I'm the biggest hypocrite ever because I came so quickly. Like,
Yeah.
like unbelievable. I'm sitting at my desk at work. I'm just like, okay, I'm watching it. But man, was it worth it?
Oh,
Absolutely.
Was it worth it?
This is one thing about trailers. Would you have paid, say, $5 to watch this in the theater? Just
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Think about how
Something
much
like
money.
a separate viewing, like just the trailer.
Just the trailer,
Yeah,
That's
I
a
would.
pretty cool idea.
Yeah, that is a
right?
cool idea.
They should do that.
Yeah.
Oh, that would
Yeah.
be awesome.
Scratch the box idea and charge for trailers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$5. I would have gone to see the Batman vs Superman trailer.
Oh,
and
yeah.
maybe give you like something like
A poster?
a
Yeah.
poster or something. You,
That's
Yeah.
such a good idea.
Let's just get our own theater going on right now.
just the trailer
Start
theater.
charging trailers. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to delete this because we can't let people know about this.
Future Tim, delete this.
That's such a good idea.
I know.
Oh man. So we all
I can't take credit for that. You know, I heard that off Fat Man on Batman. Kevin Smith said
Oh, yeah?
he would have paid money to see the Batman vs Superman trailer.
Yeah.
So gotta give credit where it's due, but that is an excellent idea. I mean,
is.
Civil War would have made. You're not telling me they wouldn't have made $20 million.
Yeah, so
Easy.
You look at how many views this got in a 24-hour period. So this is the third trailer.
Yeah.
In
Final
trailer. With the exception of TV spots and all that.
Yeah.
This had almost 100 million
Jeez.
views
Oh my
in a
goodness.
24-hour time span. Now
That's
that's
crazy.
remember that's internationally, globally, all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So that's their YouTube account, their Facebook account, the separate Captain America Facebook account, the separate Iron
Website
Man,
or whatever.
all that. Yeah. So that's 100 million views,
Incredible.
almost.
Yeah.
And for comparison, so Age of Ultron, its certified trailer had 34 million views. The second Civil War trailer had 61 million views.
Wow.
Right? And just for a comparison, if we're gonna, I know we're gonna start tossing
This
box
has to
office
be
numbers.
compared. Yeah.
The Force, I'm not. This isn't the Batman versus. I don't have the Batman versus Superman one.
200 million.
Is it really?
No.
Holy shit! But The Force Awakens had 112 million on its third trailer, and 112 million views in a 24-hour period.
Wow.
So Civil War it's up there as far as anticipation. People are watching this,
Yes.
and a lot has to do with going into it. There was rumors that we were going to get our first look
Yeah,
at Spider-Man.
exactly.
There's
Yep.
two sides to that too. One was that he was going to
Absolutely.
feature heavily,
Yeah.
and the other it was going to be a very small scene.
Yeah, brilliant.
I'm glad they went with the latter.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely.
Because I think if they had gone Spider-Man heavy,
Yeah.
it would have really spoiled it a lot more than I think this trailer actually did.
Definitely.
You bring up an interesting point. I mean, we talked about this with the Batman vs Superman trailer and Doomsday. His inclusion of the trailer was seen as this big no-no. And then we bring in the Spider-Man, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
But should they have done it? I mean, should we have seen it in the theaters?
Yes,
You
yes.
guys are both nodding your head.
Yeah. Like Robert Downey Jr. says himself, I'm done waiting. Is that what he
Yeah.
says in the trailer?
Yeah.
Right? I've lost
I'm
my
out of
patience.
patience,
yeah.
And he spoke for the rest of our fanboys out there.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. We had to see this guy.
Yeah.
We had to.
I don't know if looked like it was a scene filmed entirely for the
Absolutely.
trailer.
Absolutely.
I've run out of patience.
Yeah.
And in comes Spider. I think it was the right move. We all knew Spider-Man was in this movie.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And it's a very short scene. We'll discuss it a bit towards the end when we get we'll break this down kind of more chronologically.
Scene by scene analysis.
We knew he was in there.
Yep.
There eventually, I don't know how they've gone this long without even an image or merchandise slipping out or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
Because at some point they have to start. Spider-Man's the biggest merchandise Marvel has,
I
right?
think
And that
he's
Disney
bigger
has.
than Batman.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's the biggest merchandise.
He's bigger than
Yeah.
all of it combined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the profits that they make from Spider-Man merchandise,
Yeah.
so they can't go without having them. Like I'm sure we're gonna get action figures. I'm sure we're gonna get legends.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
gonna be T-shirts. There's gonna be everything, right?
Hot
Yeah.
toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be hot toys.
With removable eyes that close and open.
Oh, yeah. Shutter eyes. Yeah.
But this is their way of saying, hey, we're going to show you Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We're going to present it the way we want you to see it for
Exactly.
the first time, right?
Yeah.
And so they've made that decision. I think it was the right one. In contrast to the Doomsday, we didn't know Doomsday was going to be in there.
Well,
there was
some
hints.
of us didn't
Yeah.
know.
There's hints. We're a small percentage though, right?
Yeah.
We're in this, right? But for the general audience out there, they had no idea. They don't even know who Doomsday is.
No.
Right?
Fair
So,
enough. Fair enough.
But yeah, I don't know. Like in retrospect, too, looking back on this, am I upset that I watched this trailer? No.
How could you be?
And we'll go through this, but I think what they've done with this trailer, you're just getting just slightly more addition to scenes that we've already seen, right?
Yeah.
So it's an expansion on a Black Panther scene. It's expansion on the Iron Man Cap Bucky scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not giving us any more contextually as far as what's going on in the movie. Now, if you sit there and watch enough times, you could probably place which scenes are at the start, which are in the middle, which are at the end.
Yeah.
But then again, you just got to stay away from repeat viewings and that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Did you stay away from repeat viewings, Tim?
I watched this thing like 6 times before I went to sleep last night. I was just like, it's like okay, just one more time, just one more time.
But going back to the Spider-Man, it is definitely a must because keep in mind a lot of people still think that he's with Sony, which he is, but people forget that Amazing Spider-Man 2 is done, right? So Marvel had to establish like this is Spider-Man all over again in our house, and we're going to show him to you, right?
Yeah.
So
Fair enough. Yeah.
great job.
Yeah, it was the right move.
Well, I'm just waiting to see Aunt May. When are we going to get the first Aunt May pictures?
Nah, she'll be in there. She'll be in there.
This trailer's bullshit.
You can see her running behind Ant-Man. There. I'm coming to get you.
Peter, I'm a nurse now for some reason.
So let's break down this trailer a little bit. I'm just going to play it on mute here just so we can kind of see it.
So this is kind of like our reaction, like our
Little bit.
commentary.
I've seen it 15
reaction.
times, but all right. So we're getting. I'm gonna pause it as we go through here too.
Yeah.
So the start of the trailer here is you get kind of that landscape view. It looks like we're going to some sort of old Russian Hydra base or something like that, and we get that scene of Bucky. Now, I think this is a flashback.
Okay.
To maybe some of kind of explaining a bit more of Bucky origins.
Oh, okay.
So this is someone again that we had we got an idea of his origins, but we're probably gonna get a little more fleshed out in the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Of who he is and what he's done.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Interesting.
And like, how the Russians or Hydra were using him as an assassin. And I think that's going to build into a lot of why he's being chased.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, spoilers here. I can stop going into detail. I have no inside knowledge on all that kind of stuff, but we're going to spoil this a lot. I've read a lot of the comic stuff, so I have an idea what's going on. But.
Tim's Uncle John is a janitor at Marvel, and he told them all the secret information, so we have inside knowledge.
Yeah. And then after this scene, we get General Ross.
Yes.
Thunderbolt Ross.
Going back from the Incredible Hulk movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So nice tie-in there.
Yes.
And he's kind of narrating over top of our last 3 big movies.
The events, right?
The events. So we got New York,
Yeah.
Washington.
Yes.
The
Look at
events
that casualty count.
Yeah.
It's just small.
we're less than 200 people per, but like some incredible amount of damage. I think it says in here there's like $400 billion worth of damage.
Cripple
at
the world's
Sokovia.
economy. Do they actually do cleanup? They should, right? You guys made this mess. Iron Man, get your act together.
They did have a comic series way back in Marvel. I can't remember the
Damage Control.
Damage Control.
Isn't
They
that a
would
TV
actually
show?
clean up-
No, yeah. So
they might make a TV
they're
show.
talking about
yeah,
making
a TV
show, right? A TV show. But they used to go around and clean up the disasters left by the Avengers and the X-Men.
always fixing New York up.
Yeah.
Also hilarious. Apparently, I think we've talked about it before. Apparently, it's going to be one of these shaky cam office sort of things.
That would be cool.
Oh,
Where they're kind of
okay.
following around these guys, and it'd be really neat if they tied it in. They're just always mad. They're just oh my god, how many times did Thor throw that hammer through that building?
Them trying to lift the hammer to clean around it or something, and then the cleaning lady just picks it up, wipes it, and puts it down.
You are worthy, cleaning lady. But and spinning out of that, we get kind of that UN looking building exploding, and we've seen this before, but we get an additional image there of T'Challa laying on the ground. So it looks like he was in the building when it was there's a terrorist attack of some sort there.
Mm-hmm.
So there he is right there.
Kind of similar to Bruce Wayne being there in the vents
Oh,
of
yeah.
Zod, right?
Yeah.
And Batman and Superman.
And we get a first look at the new Iron Man suit, or kind of in-flight Iron Man suit. Looks like the Bleeding Edge
Bleeding
armor.
Edge, my favorite armor, yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's well done.
Does he change his armor every movie?
Oh yeah, multiple times. per movie.
Merchandise.
Last time 43 was it or something? His
Yeah.
last armor? Or
Yeah.
He's always going through them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all about the hot toys.
Yes.
What does he go through more, armor or women?
Definitely armor.
I'd say.
Especially the house party protocol, where he's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna blow all these up.
Yeah.
And the hot toys are still dropping those.
Yeah?
We're how many years out? It was 2013, so 3 years out, and they're still dropping hot toys from the house party protocol in Iron Man 3.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then we start to get the scene we've seen with General Ross, and they're essentially starting to
Concern.
they're formulating this kind of superhero registration
Yes.
act, and kind of what kicks off Civil War. And so we see Iron Man supporting this, as we all know what side he falls on in this movie. And Cap on the opposition.
Does that surprise you? Because, going into it, I would have thought that Captain America would agree with the U.S. government, and Iron Man would be opposed to it.
That's fine. That's what a lot of people thought reading the comic, too.
Yeah.
Everybody thought Cap would be the government side and Iron Man would be the more rebellious guy, right? But it actually makes sense, though, when you actually know the characters inside out. I'm not saying I'm like this huge guru of Captain America or Iron Man, but it actually kind of makes sense the way I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's impinging on people's liberties and stuff like that, particularly the superhuman community. And it's kind of allow you to go back to kind of World War II, where he has his direct experience from, right?
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
same thing, people imposing law, imposing rules, and taking, small communities of people and impinging them with these laws, these rules, and you're essentially moving people into more or less concentration camps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're looking at the prisons that they have set up in this trailer. So I think there's two prisons. There's the Raft, which I think my first impression was this, and then there's Prison 42,
42 from the comics.
from the comics,
Yeah.
right? And that was in the negative zone.
Yes.
And that was one that was basically anyone who wasn't signing up or adhering to the Superhuman Registration Act went into this prison.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they're jailing their friends, people that are on the side of good
Yeah.
because they wouldn't register with the government.
Yeah.
And we're seeing cells. We're seeing this was probably some sort of Tony creation.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it could be Prison 42, it could be the Raft, something
yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah. And going off of Winter Soldier, too, especially, it makes sense why Cap would be siding where he is, because he doesn't trust in the government anymore, right?
No.
Yeah,
After what's
true.
happened with S.H.I.E.L.D.
Exactly,
Fair enough.
exactly. That's a fantastic point. Is
Yeah.
that the government is not be trusted,
Exactly.
particularly Shield, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because there's no real replacement for Shield, Avengers have been filling that role, but now you have the government coming back in, more the military,
Yeah.
because General Ross,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming in and saying, you have to adhere to these rules.
Yeah.
And then we get the punch you in your perfect teeth. And then this scene, so we get a little bit of
yeah.
expansion of the Bucky Black Panther
Yeah.
chase scene.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, and we're seeing for the first time really the Black Panther suit in action.
Yes.
Yeah.
And him sprawling out and whacking the back of Bucky's motorcycle.
Yeah.
There.
Sleek.
Yeah, he looks really Panther-like.
Yeah,
really.
he's just
Yeah.
invincible. He kind of has like that T-1000 vibe where you just
Yeah,
can't
oh,
stop
yeah.
this guy,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
They should have got Usain Bolt to do the stunt action and have him running around.
Right, and then we got
This
This
is the best.
wicked.
He gets shot.
Yeah,
He's
this
like,
is-
what the hell, man?
Yeah.
looking at the Bucky shoots Iron Man in the face, and we pause it. Like Robert Downey Jr. his acting in this. There's two scenes in particular in this trailer
Yeah.
that his face tells the whole story.
Yes.
Yes.
This is one of them. It's when Bucky shoots him. He cannot believe that Bucky took a shot at him.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you get Bucky's got this look, and we talked about this when we looked at the second trailer. It's the same thing. It's the exact same scene in there, and this is man, I cannot believe this.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
an incredible scene. It looks like there's probably some sort of extended fight scene between Bucky and Iron Man here, and this leads into the other scene that I think is just you don't need words, you don't need anything. You can see it all in Robert Downey Jr.'s face.
I think that scene, it really shows Iron Man, before he was taking it not so seriously, this conflict, and then you can see the look in his face. He's like, shit, this is for real. Like,
Yeah.
I actually got to try in this
Yeah.
thing. He's actually trying to kill me. You could see that kind of, he's still playing around with Cap, making jokes and stuff, and then as soon as the shot comes, his face turns like that, and he's like, business is on.
Yeah.
Like, this thing is on.
But that's what my speculation kind of is going back to the beginning of the trailer, whether that could be a flashback, or what if Iron Man's been holding Bucky captive this whole time?
Oh,
Right?
wow.
What if he had him hold the whole time and Bucky's really out for this guy? I could totally be wrong, but just all speculation.
Yeah.
right?
Basic theory.
Yeah.
We're going to say it's correct.
And then we have a little bit of creative editing here, where we have Bucky taking a shot,
Yeah.
and then it skips to what looks like a totally different part of the movie.
Yeah.
Where we have Rhodey getting hit across the chest. So again, this is another scene. So this is again what I've liked about this trailer is it's just expanding on scenes we've already seen, adding 10 seconds here, 10 seconds there. So again, contextually, we're not getting really any more of the story. You could from the first trailer, you could piece together very similar things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you think Rhodey's gonna die?
No.
You know what? Someone is going to.
Yeah.
Someone's going to bite it.
Someone has to.
This is kind of hard to say. I may be 70% sure he's going to die. I'm
Really?
70% sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
See, I don't think they showed the scene
That's
in the
just it,
trailer.
though, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
maybe-
I know
maybe-
it's a little too easy, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he doesn't look like 'cause the Iron Man and War Machine. They've fallen like this before,
That's
right?
true.
Yeah.
And other than the scar across the front of the suit,
Yeah.
there's really doesn't look like there's any real internal damage,
That's
right?
right.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like falling from out of the sky in a metal suit hitting the ground. At Mach 2
You'll
or
be
Mach 3.
fine.
But yeah, so this looks like again something. This is one of the other ones, not the specific one I was talking about, where again you're looking at Iron Man's face and he's got this just look, this
Yeah.
painful
Sells
look,
it.
like and this looks like it's at the end of that airport battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see it in the background. And it cuts back to Bucky here. It's
Yeah.
trying to tell a little story within this trailer. I think it's a bit misleading to a degree.
Yeah. Little trickery.
Yeah, a little creative editing.
Sleight of hand. This May. Oh my
Basics.
God.
Okay, and then we get this scene. So, without spoiling too much, this scene is what I'm gonna say spoiler. Do you get this scene is what the Infinite comic kind of leads into.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this kind of area where you have kind of these soldiers coming out, and it's probably a little more of the Crossbones battle.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
Who is that? Is that Scarlet Witch?
Yeah,
or...
Black Widow.
Oh, Black Widow.
Okay, and then there's a cool scene there with Robert Downey Jr. and Black Widow.
Yes.
Iron Man and Black Widow. I do that so often.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's a bit beat up. And it's interesting because we know at some point that she's on his side.
Yeah.
But in this scene, it looks like, she's arguing, right?
Yeah.
And he's saying to her, like, look, they're coming after you. So
watch your back kind of
clearly we haven't had sides form yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're probably still in the midst of people deciding, what side are we going to fall on here, Caps or Iron Man's.
Because he's definitely beat up. Because I think his arm's even in a sleep.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we get that.
Whose apartment do you think that
Peter
is?
Parker.
Is it Peter Parker or is it Ant-Man, right? Because Antman's pretty...
with the paper.
He's kind of
and the-
struggling in life a little bit,
I
right?
never even
So
thought
who
of
could it
that.
be? Yeah, so I don't know if it's Peter or Ant-Man.
That's a good.
Yeah.
I like that. Interesting.
I guess we'll see.
One insect.
Yeah, it's one of the insects.
Could be
Either an ant
Black
or a
Widow.
spider. Yeah.
And then right after that scene, this is the other scene I'm talking about with Robert Downey Jr.'s acting. Is Cap says, something along the lines, there doesn't need to be a fight in the scene prior to it. And then it pans to this, there's no dialogue or anything. And Robert Downey Jr. is looking right at Cap, and those words are said, and then he looks like, to me, that he's trying to make Cap look at his face. His face is all beat up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when Cap says, we don't need to be a fighting, or this doesn't need to be a fight or whatever. And I think he's referencing the fact that this has already started. It's too late for that.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, I'm reading all that from Robert Downey Jr.'s expression, which is awesome.
He just sells everything. It's great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this, as much as this is going to be a Cap movie, I think Downey's going to be at his best again.
Avengers 2.5.
Yep.
Boom.
So that was the big scene that people were pausing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we get Iron Man hitting Cap, and then I think there's a little editing in there. But in the background, there's that yellow tube
Yeah.
Yep.
that looks like what Bucky was in at the start of the
Yep.
trailer, at least. And people are thinking that there's someone in there.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's talks of Thor clone.
Oh, right out of the
Interesting.
comics.
Right out of the comics. So
Yeah.
in the comics, and we're actually going to in a couple weeks, kind of just a couple weeks before Civil War, we're gonna go through the comic, do some predictions, read through the comic a bit, kind of review it, and talk about what we think is going to be in the movie, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in the comics, there's a Thor clone, which is kind of Iron Man's secret weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reed Richards and Iron Man.
Yeah.
I think they both constructed.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
And-
we'll see Miles Teller reprise his role
Yeah.
of Mr. Fantastic.
But there's other rumors that maybe Rhodey dies, and that's the chamber where they bring him back.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's Red Skull,
interesting.
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver.
Could be
okay.
anyone, right?
Yeah.
And a character, again, we haven't seen yet is Baron Zemo, which we
Yes.
know he's in the film.
That's a good
in
call.
some capacity, right? Mm-hmm. So it's interesting. A lot of speculation there, like who's in the chamber. It could be nothing. It could just be literally the headrest that's in the tube or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Howard the Duck.
Yeah, that would be incredible. Then we get lots of battling here, and then we get another scene of Black Panther in action fighting
Yes.
Bucky.
Yeah.
And looks like his suit's bulletproof.
Just showing it right off, right?
Yeah.
What this suit's capable of.
Vibranium, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And his suit looks incredible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like they've definitely gone in from the set photos. They've gone in and tweaked this with CG a bit.
Yeah.
So it's kind of has this kind of Iron Man look to it.
Yeah.
But again, it's out there on its own.
Yeah, it's
Like,
sleek. It's not bulky at
No,
all.
Yeah.
like, from some of the pictures, it looked bulkier.
Yeah.
But when you look at this scene, it's slimmed right
Yeah.
down.
Oh, yeah.
Like it looks incredible.
It's athletic looking.
It looks
Yeah.
like Under Armour or something.
Yeah. It's great.
It's a great
We get the
tie-in.
airport. Oh yeah, and then we get two scenes back to
Very
back. here.
iconic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we get Scarlet Witch just decimating Vision.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because we haven't seen much of Vision, so I don't know how much he's in this movie. We're starting to see the degree of power that Scarlet Witch has, and we're also seeing the limitations of Vision possibly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because like in the comics and in this, Vision is more or less unstoppable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can change density, he can reach right into you, pull your heart out, all that kind of stuff. So again, we haven't really seen Vision's powers explored that much, and so it'll be interesting to see how they kind of either tone them down or if they use Scarlet Witch completely to basically kind of write him right off.
Well, in the comics, don't they,
Yeah.
Yeah.
make sex
Yeah.
at
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see that scene in the movie.
You would.
If I don't see that scene in the theater, I'm walking out giving the film a bad review.
And then we get another fanboy moment.
Yeah.
It's iconic. So this
yeah.
is from the cover of Avengers 223.
Cool.
Wow.
And we get Hawkeye
Yeah.
shooting an arrow with Ant-Man on it.
So cool.
Like,
Yeah.
And that was one of the things going in is like I'd seen memes all over the internet. It's like, Marvel, just please give us this. You're sticking Hawkeye and Ant-Man in the same movie.
Yeah.
They're on the same side. Let's see this.
Why not?
And we get it.
Nice.
Like,
Yeah.
This is again, this is appeasing the fanboys.
So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a cool scene. And again, you get Ant-Man flying through.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to attack Iron Man to some degree. We got a crossbones there.
And then we get Iron Man with his hand and
And I love the line
Yeah.
Captain America
The
drops
callback,
here. It
right?
just ties all 3 movies together, right?
Yeah.
And when he said, the first time he said, I was like, they've dubbed that from the first movie. It sounds
Just like it.
identical. I know it's the same actor and all that, but you know,
he looks the same too. What is this sorcery?
but I don't know, like just like the breaths were taken at the same time,
Yeah.
like he's
Yeah.
in that same fighting stance. Oh man,
Yeah.
just a great callback.
Great.
And again, it looks like we're getting a little more on the fight. Oh man,
And the way the trailer synced the music to the punches
Yeah.
that he's whacking at him.
how much would it hurt your fist to
Oh,
punch Iron Man in the head, though,
Holy
right?
smokes.
Probably wouldn't feel very good, but if you have super soldier serum,
Yeah.
maybe it doesn't hurt.
That's true.
Yeah. And then we're back to the airport here. We're getting the 2 teams right before you get kind of this 2-page splash.
Yes, right out of the comics. Right?
Right
Yes.
out of the comics.
Oh, man.
But one interesting thing about this, so when we're looking at Cap's team here, when you look at trailer number 2,
Yeah.
Ant-Man isn't in this scene, but he's in
Really?
this scene in this trailer.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like, I don't know if he's been put in post. I don't know if he was I don't know what they've done, or if the scene they filmed it 2 different ways, where Ant-Man wasn't there before, or maybe this is a couple seconds later and he's grown.
Yeah.
But I found it really weird because you look at even go on YouTube and look at trailer number 2. This running scene is kind of Marvel's the little photograph, the thumbnail,
Right.
and Ant-Man's not there.
Wow.
And there's a noticeable gap too,
Yeah.
like between
That's
Hawkeye
interesting.
and Falcon, and
Yeah.
then he's inserted in this one. So
What's the name of that plane? I'm trying to read it.
I don't know. It looks like a German plane. Looks kind of like a Lufthansa's color, but it's not really Lufthansa.
Okay.
And then I get the splash.
Oh,
That's
yeah, look at
crazy.
that.
Yeah.
2-page. This is
So
right out of the
cool.
comics. We got the 2 teams running at each other. I'm interested though. Who's going at who?
Right? Because Iron Man's lifted high there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's going. Looks like going after Falcon maybe.
Yeah.
We got 3 flyers on one side.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people running. You get Falcon and Scarlet Witch.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm interested at when we're in the theater. Like, does Cap go after Panther, or is he going after? Like, it looks like he's running right for Black Widow, which is not a fair fight.
No, definitely not.
How do you think they got into this airport? The big battle takes place in the airport. Do you think maybe they transported someone that was maybe going to get arrested for not registering, and then they had to fly him back home?
Interesting.
And then the Cap's team shows up and says, "Let this person go," and Iron Man says no.
Oh.
Is that how? Because how do they get a battle at the airport? That's kind
true.
of
At a German airport at that. It's
Yeah.
not like
Yes.
it's like JFK or something.
maybe
Right.
Bucky.
Yeah, that's
Maybe they
interesting. I never
capture
really
Bucky?
thought why they're in Germany. Why are they there? That's interesting because it looks like I'm guessing this is probably in the middle of the movie somewhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's the climax.
No.
It looks like it's kind of like you're gonna peak in the middle and then you're gonna go back into the end fight there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's interesting. I never really thought and to have the next character that get introduced here.
What's he doing?
In Germany too?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
He's a New York guy. And
Foreign
Well,
exchange
I
student.
do remember hearing something that Iron Man, Tony Stark, has started some kind of program for the youth, for like these intelligent kids, which is probably why Peter Parker's with him.
Okay. Interesting.
But why they're in Germany, I don't know. Maybe he had some kind of conference. It's probably Tony Stark's doing though.
Probably
Yeah, I'd imagine,
right?
Oktoberfest or something.
Yeah.
And then the highlight of the
Under
trailer.
Ruse.
Under Ruse.
Under Ruse.
Yeah, which is another fantastic callback because
Yeah.
Iron Man is consistently throughout all these giving nicknames to people. Reindeer
Yeah.
Games for Loki, Point Break for Thor.
Yeah.
Again, Under Ruse, which is a line of underwear for kids
Yeah.
that commonly has superhero stuff all over,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And when we were talking about this before, when I first heard it, like you thought the same thing I did. It's like on the roof.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that kind of makes sense. Spider-Man, he'd probably on
Yeah,
the roof.
on the roof.
That makes sense.
But after a couple of viewings, Under Ruse makes
Yeah.
perfect sense.
Absolutely.
We get the introduction here.
Oh,
of
boy.
Webhead.
Yes.
Yes.
And they give him the shield too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, right away.
Take my
Right.
money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Troy, now you're the Spider-Man guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's hear your thoughts on the suit.
Oh, it's perfect. The eyes are straight out of a Steve Ditko, John Romita Sr. kind of image, right?
Yeah.
So the eyes, I've always been a fan of these eyes where they're kind of small, but I love the fact that they move, they shrink, they have the shutter eyes. So
Yeah.
up and down, the color wave is awesome. The blue is nice. It's not that bright blue. It's not too dark. It's just in between. And the material works because it complements the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right?
Yeah.
Because if you were to look at the Amazing Spider-Man 2 costume, which is great, but if you were to take that costume and put it in this universe, it just wouldn't look right. It would look kind of out of place. But with this having like the texture and the padding that they've given it, the web shooters on the outside of his costume and the web belt you can see, it just makes sense with what they're doing in this universe. So
Yeah.
What do you think of the
I
symbol
love it.
size and the
I
symbol,
love it, yes.
the symbol
Yeah.
look too, right?
I love it
That's-
because every symbol we've had has been these big spider emblems,
Yeah.
which have been okay. But this now it's a small spider, which is cool. The webbing isn't embedded, so it's not
Yeah.
like bubbling over his costume. It's actually very thin and faint, but you get the point. And for the general audience, you look at that, you think,
Yeah.
okay, that's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So,
Now, do you think the shutter eyes are like Stark Tech? Do you think they're like zooming in on things?
yeah, that's what I think. That's
Because
what
you
I
hear
think.
there's a
Exactly,
shutter, right?
at the end, right?
Yeah.
And there's no way a 16, 17-year-old Peter Parker, as much of a genius as he is, he wouldn't make the eyes do
Yeah.
that, right? When we
Yeah.
used to read these Spider-Man comics, you just kind of imagine, okay, his eyes are going up and down, but there's no
Yeah.
mechanics behind it. But now that it has to make sense, and who else better to do it than Tony Stark?
Yeah,
right?
because it's interesting because we just got out of, or we just had Deadpool where
Yes.
we had animated eyes
Exactly.
Yeah.
to give expression.
Yes.
but this is more than that, right?
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
this is a
Natural
shutter or
mechanism.
something. Yeah,
yeah, definitely. So yeah, I love the costume. I've never really had a problem with any of the Spider-Man costumes, but this
Yeah.
one and the Amazing Spider-Man 2 are by far my favorite. But this one I love because the eyes are like the size they need to be, and his physique is like the way it should be too.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
and his voice too.
Yes.
It sounds young.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It
It's
sounds like
perfect.
he's supposed to sound.
Yeah.
And the really cool thing about this, and like I said, this almost looked like it was designed specifically for a trailer.
Yeah.
Because he lands, does a superhero landing,
Oh,
and all
yeah.
that
Yeah.
stuff. He's got the shield in his hands, and he looks up and looks directly at
Yes,
the
at the
camera
audience. Yeah.
and says, "Hey guys," or what
Yeah.
does he say?
Yeah. Hey everyone.
Hey everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
to me, that's Spider-Man saying like, "Hey everyone, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm in
Yeah.
the MCU.
Yeah.
This is me. This is
Yeah.
what I look like."
Exactly.
And I thought that was such a cool moment.
So good.
Like,
Yeah.
it just the way, I don't know, it was shot. It was just like, here I am.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
perfect. I think the audience is gonna just love this character even more.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
Do you think he designed it to fight Bonesaw in the wrestling King of
Oh,
Hell in a Cell?
Bonesaw.
I got you for 3 minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, do you guys think that this movie is going to end on a dark note? So we got a lot of indications here that there's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
The narrative is being pushed pretty hard here. This looks like it's going to be a very packed movie, but it looks like it's a movie that's going to have consequences.
Definitely.
Are you expecting that at the end of this movie, everyone's going to shake hands and fight a bigger evil, like a Baron Zemo or something like that?
No, they can't. This movie cannot do that. If it does, I'll be disappointed.
I think everyone will be.
Yeah. This movie is setting up, what's it called? Infinity War?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Infinity War, we've talked about this before. I think it'll just be one Avengers team taking on Thanos.
Yeah.
And then part 2 will be them reconciling and then
Yeah,
taking
be
on
like,
Thanos.
Tony or Cap,
Yeah.
we need you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think obviously it's going to leave the team split in the middle. They're not shaking hands after this.
No.
Definitely not.
There's no Batman versus Superman moment where they
Yeah.
team up to fight Doomsday
Yeah,
in
exactly.
this. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I agree. There's going to be none of that.
No.
And this is a Russo film.
Yes.
And they're going to be. I can't help but think that they're to some degree going to be seeding their next big project, which is Infinity War Part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think coming out of this, we're going to see the team that probably is going to be, as far as the active Avengers team in Infinity War, we're going to see that coming out of here.
Yeah.
They're going to
Yeah.
be seeding their own movie.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't help but think that there's going to be an after credit scene that's going to be a Thanos or something like that
Yeah.
seeds Infinity War.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Even though we got Ragnarok and stuff like that to
Yeah.
come before, but this is their movie. They have to take the opportunity to set this kind of the pieces that they want into the place that they want, right?
For sure. Because the movie, I think, it's a shy 3 minutes less than Batman v Superman. I
Yeah,
think
it's
it's
a long
Yeah.
movie.
right. So we'll probably get 2 after credits,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
would be cool if one of them was Thor and Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little something there that then give us the Infinity War.
Well, this is the
Oh,
other
yeah.
thing, there's been talk, and we've talked about this before, about Hulk in Civil War.
Yeah.
Is he in Civil War? And this is one of the things I want to talk about when we talk about some of the comic book storylines that we want to see in film.
Right.
Is at the end of this, or does Hulk show up? And at the end of this, do they say, this guy's gone. Fire him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Have they made this-
Exile.
yeah.
Yeah. I think if we do see him, I think it's gonna be Mark Ruffalo. I don't think we'll see the big green.
No.
I think it'll just be Mark Ruffalo himself. But
Yeah.
I still think they're bringing Red Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think Thunderbolt Ross is gonna turn full out? Not for a Hulk movie, but in the Civil War movie, eh?
Yeah, as far as an authority figure,
Yeah.
maybe General Ross is the only one they could have brought in to actually, bring that sense of authority into Avengers and kind of start telling them what to do. As far as who's president in the Marvel Cinematic Universe currently, because you can't bring in a Nick Fury, you can't bring in a Mariana Hill, like you can't use those characters because they're so integrated into the Avengers story already.
Yeah.
That as far as standing up as this authoritarian figure, they just don't have that to push kind of the government's, and they don't have the government's blessing or that, because you're looking at the Shield show, which just started up again,
Right?
Which is there's a cool cameo in there. President Ellis, which is in Iron Man 3 and referenced in Winter Soldier, shows up on Agents of Shield.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's the same actor, all that kind of
Nice.
stuff. Shows up in
Nice.
it
I
too,
love
so-
that continuity.
Yeah, nice tie there. But
Awesome.
I think General Ross. At first, when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, they're bringing him because they Red Hulk, but maybe he's the only guy that can be like, no, you have to sign this Avengers, and now he's got Tony on side, stuff like that. And him and Tony kind of have a little history from the after credits scene,
Yeah,
right?
Right.
that's right.
So-
It's like, I want the Thunderbolts going on now.
Yeah. So, this thing looks to be rather incredible.
Oh my goodness, does it ever? It's I don't know about you guys, it's my top trailer of the year, I'd have to say.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I know the year's just kicking off, but this
Yeah.
is the top trailer. I gotta wait for Rogue One, but
Yeah.
this right here.
Rogue One's going to struggle a bit, I think, to top this.
Yeah.
I know it's a Star Wars film, and I love Star Wars and all that stuff. Don't get me wrong.
No, you don't. You're all Star
Episode
Trek.
12.
That wasn't Star Trek. You mean I read the wrong or listened to the wrong podcast?
But this has so much stakes and the connection to the characters. And Rogue One's going to have that Star Wars behind it.
Yeah.
But again, it's introducing all new characters, right? It's
That's
a new
true.
story.
Yeah.
It's playing a bit on the stuff that we know already. But this I don't know. It's just the consequences that this has. And this trailer, again, drives that home.
Yeah.
This is going to be a superhero movie with consequences. This isn't like a comic event that at the end of the day has no consequences.
Right.
Everyone just goes back, shakes hands, and
And
says,
has a
we're
shawarma.
good. Let's
Yeah.
go fight Hydra.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Shawarma.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna make a bold prediction here. Guys, write this down. Star Wars Rogue One will not finish in the top 2 for box office gross in 2016. I'm calling it.
The marketing, though, it's funny. I mean, if they start showing that, look, this film has Darth Vader in his prime, and they really execute that, then I think this movie's going to skyrocket. But if they don't, I think the audience is just going to be like, this doesn't connect to Force Awakens, because they have no idea where this movie sits still, right?
Yeah. That's the problem. And, I think that there's enough of a Star Wars base as far as people's understanding. But when they're going back, because this is, they're going back to the prequel sort of thing,
the
right?
true
This
prequel,
is
really.
a prequel too.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They're
Yeah.
going back to the prequel,
Yeah.
and they haven't had a lot of luck with using. That's why you're not seeing the word prequel on it or anything
Exactly.
like they were attached to it in
Yeah.
any
Staying away
sort of
from
way.
that.
Yeah.
But again, you're going back to a story it's a very small story in a much larger narrative, right? And I still think it's going to be gangbusters.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And, so you're thinking Civil War, Batman vs Superman?
I think Civil War won. I've said this all along. Civil War is going to be the number 1 film of the year in terms of box office gross. Then, I'm going to leave spot 2 open. I'm not sure. Right
Between
now,
Rogue One and...
Batman vs Superman. I think those are going to be the ones that kind of battle it out.
Yeah.
Let's not discount... Well, I was going to say X-Men, but those movies don't make a ton of money.
No.
No.
It'll do decent. I think the last one did 97.
Yeah, it's not going to be
opening.
it's not going to come anywhere near those three.
No. I think those are your top 3.
Yeah.
There's always a surprise too. Like Finding Dory could hit huge.
It's going to.
Yeah,
could,
yeah.
it could.
Independence
Yeah.
Day.
Yeah.
We just have to see something, right? Because we've seen Batman v Superman marketing, we've seen Marvel's Captain America, but we haven't seen anything from Rogue One, so it's really hard to determine.
I think we're going to get something with Civil War.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't Disney do that with
Exactly.
what could be their biggest movie of the year, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about box office predictions. So
Cool.
on the website, boxoffice.com, the first prediction for Civil War, $163 million opening weekend, $425 million North American total. These movies always start really low, and then the predictions and the guesses get higher and higher as the movies come out.
Yeah.
So as an opening prediction, that's not bad. 163 million was still 2 months to go.
Yeah. It's huge.
Thoughts?
Huge.
You think it would have been bigger? I mean,
Well, I got my prediction. I'm sure
Yeah.
you guys have your prediction.
We're already contributing to that ticket sales because we've got our tickets already.
Yeah.
We've got the first showing in Calgary again.
Nice.
They
Yeah.
came out. It's interesting because they came out like a week or two after Batman vs Superman, and the movie's like 2 months later.
yeah. Well, they did that with Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
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 And why not, right? And
Yeah.
So we got to reserve seats already in that.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
Nice.
we're ready to go there. But
So we were talking about this when Batman vs Superman came out on movietickets.com about the percentage of tickets sold on that website.
Right.
And this, not that I think this film's going to be a bomb by any means, but this kind of struck me as kind of interesting. Civil War only got up to 8%. Now, I gotta ask why. Is it because at the end of the trailer they say, buy your tickets at Fandango? Or was the competition huge because you had Zootopia and then you had Cloverfield come out? Was that contributing to it? I mean, I just think 8% seems really low. Not that, I'm not suggesting in any ways to be worried. This thing's going to make $500 million in North America. But why? Was it just...
I don't know, because personally, I kind of knew, but I didn't really pay much attention to the fact that the tickets were actually on sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't something like Batman vs Superman where the movie's a month out and the tickets go on sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still talking like 2 months plus, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't have this huge like push to buy your tickets. It's like tickets on sale now. Like you just get out of seeing Spider-Man for the first time.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm already fast forward or rewinding back to the start
Oh, yeah.
to watch
Yeah.
this trailer again before I'm
Definitely.
seeing tickets are on sale.
Yeah.
Like I know they went on sale whenever the trailer dropped, Thursday or Wednesday or whenever, and I didn't buy my tickets till Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whereas the Batman vs Superman, we're
We're
all
watching
over,
the
like,
clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Fresh
so
and fresh.
I bought
Yeah.
them on Sunday, and I was still able to get the exact seats that we always get
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the reserve seating on the earliest showing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the Thursday. So I don't know. I don't know if it's because it's too far out, and maybe they're going to push this a lot more. Like, of course they're going to, but
Yeah, definitely.
maybe they're waiting for Batman vs Superman to pass.
I think
right?
so too.
Maybe, yeah.
Because you're not going to just try to pump your movie over top of what's going to be the biggest
That's just
movie
it.
for the next month when this
Yeah.
hits, right?
And they
Yeah.
give themselves that amount of time to
Yeah.
to do so. Right?
So this movie, Batman vs Superman is big for a month,
Yeah.
and then they have a month to pump themselves, right? When
Exactly.
you push Batman vs Superman at the back, and it's had its time to run and all that sort of thing. Yeah, so I think that might be it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that gives you any sort of indication of how well.
No, absolutely not. I just thought it was an interesting little tidbit.
definitely.
I'd have to agree. I thought that said 80%, not 8.
Oh, no, 8, yeah.
I was like, whoa. So, interesting enough, we're getting a lot of comic book adaptations. Almost, not so much direct, but, we're taking very popular story arcs. We're taking Civil War. We had previously the Winter Soldier story arc.
Yep.
We've had Batman vs Superman, which is pulling a lot from the Frank Miller stuff. And I thought it'd be kind of fun if we talked about, actually, Sunjay thought it'd be kind of fun.
Wasn't it Troy?
Thought it'd be kind of fun.
No. It was all my idea. I don't know who this Troy character is, but I came up with this idea all my own.
Just to talk a bit about, some of the comic book adaptations, particularly arcs or characters that we'd like to see in film. We've all read comic books quite extensively. We've read a lot of older events. We've read a lot of older issues. We read all the current stuff too. So, what's some of the stuff that we'd like to see on screen outside of what we know we're getting?
Yes.
Maybe we're talking Phase 4 or Phase 5 or
Fair enough.
post Justice League Part 2 sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what do you guys think?
I got a couple here.
Okay.
My biggest one is Batman Court of Owls. I love.
Absolutely.
I know Sunjay would be down for
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
And Tim will read the novel before he gets to it. But Batman Court of Owls would be great. I'd really like them to focus heavily on Batman, obviously, and Dick Grayson, because Dick Grayson is such a huge part of that story arc as well. I think it'd be kind of cool to have Ben Affleck even direct this movie.
Absolutely.
Because he's done Argo, he's done The Town.
Yeah.
Gone Baby Gone. It's great. So to see him do that kind of movie and really highlight Batman's detective skills in this book or this movie would be just phenomenal. So
Yeah.
that's what I'd go with for now.
I agree. Me and Baron were talking about this, and he brought up an interesting point. You already have the map laid out to make a Batman trilogy in the new DCU. You start with Court of Owls.
Yeah.
Then you take one of Snyder's Joker stories, either Endgame or Death in the Family.
Yes.
Adapt that one as your second one. And then you end with Gordon becoming Batman, and then Batman has to go through again and become Batman after he dies from Joker.
Would you propose this to be like before Batman vs Superman? Would this have to take place, or could this be like a continuity that starts before, runs through, and then ends after?
It's got to go through because in Endgame or Death of the Family, Batman bites the dust. Well,
Okay.
bites the dust.
Yeah.
Air quotes. So you couldn't really have that as a prequel because you see him show up in Batman v Superman. So some of that would have been lost. So I think it has to take place while the DCU is going on.
Yeah, because we have a dead Robin already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some of that stories, I think, has got to take place.
Yeah, I would kind of like to see it go take place now, because the cool thing with Court of Owls is Batman's very comfortable being Batman now. He's at a point where he feels he's in the prime. He knows Gotham City like nobody else.
Yeah,
and he's heard about the Court of Owls, but he's not a believer.
Yeah.
So I think it definitely has to be in a point where he's like the man, and he needs to be kind of knocked off his feet by these Court of Owls. So
I agree, and it's interesting to get a different villain. We've got
Exactly.
so many Jokers, which
Yes.
I'm not complaining, but it'd be nice to see, maybe like a Clayface or Man-Bat or just something out there, something different.
something different, or Mr. Freeze done properly.
Yeah.
Right. And
What do you mean done properly? Freeze in hell, Batman.
Chill.
What killed the dinosaurs?
the Ice Age.
Clunky writing.
One of the times we're going to watch Batman and Robin, and every time we get annoyed or laugh, we're going to have to take a drink.
yeah.
And we should do commentary at that episode.
That'd be awesome.
All right, book it in.
I also thought about Spider-Man. Spider-Man's my main guy, if you haven't noticed. So I would like to see Spider-Man directed by James Cameron, because he's meant to do it in the first place.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be kind of cool.
Good
and
pull.
I'd like to see the Merlin story. So the Merlin story is kind of this arch enemy that hunts down the spiders. He has this totem and he hunts down these spiders, and he basically just makes Peter Parker's life a living hell. And he actually kind of kills Spider-Man, but that kind of spins into the story where Spider-Man comes back like reborn and evolved as like this bigger, stronger Spider-Man, where he has the organic web shooters.
Okay.
So it wouldn't have to be like a direct adaptation, but it'd be kind of neat storytelling. And again, it'd be a switch up of the classic villains we always see. We could see somebody different. And my last one would be Spider-Man Kraven's Last Hunt. Kraven basically puts Spider-Man into the dirt and tries to be Spider-Man himself.
Yeah.
And for that one, I kind of had James Cameron as well directing that one. So
Is that more of a mature Spider-Man, or could that be played with a 15, 16-year-old?
See, that would have to be more of a mature Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He'd have to be a little more grown up, actually. So that would be a little bit more, of a grown up Spidey, actually. Actually, sorry, I had David Fincher for that one.
Oh,
to direct that
yeah,
one.
that'd be a
so
great
David
one.
Fincher's done Fight Club.
I think 7?
He's done 7.
Yeah.
Fight Club, Gone Girl, and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. So he could really capture that grittiness of that movie. And he wouldn't even have to be in the black suit. I know he was in the black suit in that movie, or that comic book. But I think that'd be a really cool arc. That'd be my top choice for Spider-Man.
This seems interesting. The Kraven one and the Merlin kind of seem similar, where you have the villain kind of hunting down the spider.
Exactly.
And as I said, as you said, it's good to get different villains. Mm-hmm. The other Spider-Man villain I was thinking of would be Mysterio.
Nice.
Yeah.
I really like that choice.
Yeah. I don't know who would get to play him. Maybe someone out there like David Spade or someone.
Yeah.
David Spade.
What? He's out there. It'll work. Or Adam Sandler.
What are you doing, man?
Oh, we're not continuing Amazing Spider-Man 2? Let me redo the notes then. No, but I agree. You have Kraven. That would be an excellent poll.
For sure.
That'd be excellent.
Yeah, I'd really like to see that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Some of the concepts I'd like to see. So I have a couple concepts and a couple arcs I'd like to see weaved into the current Marvel continuity. And one kind of arc is, so we had Avengers Disassembled. This is when Brian Michael Bendis took over the Avengers run. Mm-hmm. That was kind of an issue 500, and then went to 503. And then spinning out of that, we had this new Avengers story.
Yeah.
Which Sunjay, quit knocking stuff.
Don't tell me how to live my life, Tim.
No, so in this new Avengers Volume 1, the first 6 issues was called Breakout.
Okay.
It was essentially taking the raft, similar to what we saw in the Civil War trailer, which was full of supervillains, and there was this massive breakout that Electro kind of made happen.
Oh, cool.
And so this is actually, I know you've seen, we've probably all seen it, the Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Yes.
The cartoon.
Oh,
from
yeah.
a couple years ago. So the first kind of few episodes were adapting that storyline.
Oh, okay.
So
Awesome.
that was showing kind of, they used that storyline as how the Avengers came together.
Right.
And this storyline, it shows how they kind of reassembled some of the Avengers. And this is when we got Spider-Man and Wolverine joining the Avengers. So this was like your Marvel's biggest superheroes joining together. Yeah. And it was essentially chasing around all these supervillains that had broken out. And, if you go back and watch that Earth Mightiest Heroes, it's a really cool storyline.
So good.
And again, it would be this is something that you'd have to do way down the line, or kind of like a one shot or something like that, because you'd have to essentially get all your supervillains kind of maybe like this massive crossover between the different stews or something. Yeah, but I think it'd be a pretty cool concept.
That is
it's kind
cool.
of Suicide Squad-esque too, with all the villains and
yeah,
stuff.
Similar, yeah,
that's a great.
What's that one called? Sorry.
It's New Avengers Volume 1 Breakout. It's the first issues 1 through 6.
That's a cool title too.
Yeah. And it's the best part of that new run. That run goes for ages, all through Bendis' run. But it's the best story. And this is like, you get that Sentry shows up. He was in the basement of this prison, and that's like kind of your Superman look-alike or whatever, copycat.
And so before Hyperion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
get
so
Brandon
he's in
Routh
that.
To play him.
Yeah, I thought it was just a really cool concept, like having that prison, and it seemed kind of neat.
Yep,
that's a great idea. I'd be down.
Who would you have direct that?
I don't know.
Think of anyone else.
Don't ask me. I'd say Adam Sandler.
I don't know. Like, you'd like to see someone that has done some, like, because you'd like to see this. The problem with it is, well, maybe not so much a problem, but because you're dealing with super villains, it's kind of got to be a bit out there. Yeah, like it can't be like this gritty sort of kind of bare knuckle sort of thing, which is kind of more what your Suicide Squad, like your David Ayer sort of stuff. I don't know. I have to think about that.
All right. Okay, I'll take one stab at this. X-Men universe. We haven't talked about that.
Cool.
Okay, where do you go after Apocalypse? Because I always thought of him as X-Men's biggest and baddest.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The idea I came up with was Onslaught.
Yes.
So that's the combination of Magneto and Charles Xavier into one entity, and then it takes the entire MCU
That's really cool.
to take him down. Because, Magneto's been the villain in how many films?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why not add Charles Xavier? We've seen his strength. We've seen his power.
Yeah.
And Fox still has some other stuff that they could use. So they could throw in the Deadpool.
Yeah.
They could throw in Fantastic Four and kind of redeem those characters under Bryan Singer before you do a sequel for them. Have them show up, maybe just a little cameo here or there.
Yep.
Or just kill them off, and then everyone would be happy too. I mean,
no, you're right though. Having Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy, because those two guys are brilliant actors, and have them the villain of the movie would be phenomenal. I really like that.
That's almost like your next step for an X-Men is like Charles Xavier is the most powerful mutant.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how they're going to scale him against Apocalypse and that. But maybe that's a great way to go, in the sense that you take, not only is he your greatest leader and stuff like that, but he's also your greatest adversary, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Isn't it Onslaught's like he takes like a piece of Magneto or something like that, and he gets corrupted?
Yeah, something where he goes into Magneto's mind and he wipes it, because Magneto took all the adamantium from from Wolverine's body.
Right.
So he gets so fed up he wipes Magneto's mind, but then some part of Magneto's mind gets left in Charles Xavier.
Yeah, like seeds evil.
Yeah,
he's a crazy storyline.
Yeah, super powerful. I remember in the beginning he punches Juggernaut from like New York to Toronto or something. Like just massive power.
Yeah, it's crazy. 'Cause I remember that's the same arc.
Punch.
Yeah.
He kills Iron Man, but he doesn't kill Iron Man. He puts him in a pocket universe, and a teenage Iron Man comes out of that story. And
the worst.
Yeah, so Heroes Reborn got started.
Yeah, Heroes Reborn.
Yeah.
I think it was Jim Lee doing the art back then.
Like cool concept, just poorly executed in the comics.
Yeah.
So something like that would have been really cool to see. I just don't know where they go
You're
from
right, though.
Apocalypse.
Where do they go? Yeah, because I mean, Mr. Sinister, you can't do Mr. Sinister now because he's kind of more before you do Apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
Because he's a little bit weaker than, well, he's a lot weaker than Apocalypse. So you're right. I think the only thing you can do is Onslaught.
The only other story I thought was Magneto and his Genosha Island.
Nice.
Where he had the Island of Mutants, and maybe it gets UN status as a country. And maybe the X-Men, some join and some don't.
Yeah.
But then you get kind of X3 vibes from it, because that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, but that's where I would take the X-Men universe, and obviously I get Bryan Singer to direct.
For sure.
Yeah, naturally.
I'd love to see a Silver Surfer done properly, too.
Oh, yeah,
right?
that you could bring him in?
Yeah.
Or maybe Galactus.
Right?
He would. Both of those guys would fit in the last one I want to
talk
about.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm gonna throw this one out there. I know this event wasn't particularly well received by a lot of people, but I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Secret Invasion.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, underrated.
Yeah, underrated. I agree.
Yep.
And it's something. So I've been waiting for an after credit. I know that the Skrulls are owned by by Fox, and I
Yeah,
said Fantastic Fox. And I know they're owned by them, but the Chitauri are the Skrulls of the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
Now they've been reintegrated back in, and they weren't a direct adaptation of the Chitauri. But I've been waiting for an after credit scene in an MCU movie since Avengers, where someone looks at the camera and their face blips, and you see a Skrull there.
Yeah,
And that's all you need to see this thing.
Yes.
That's all you need to do.
Sold.
Yeah.
And it's like, they did this in Earth's Mightiest
Yes.
Heroes
Yeah.
so
With
well.
Cap.
With Cap.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cap.
it's brilliant.
Yeah, he was a Skrull for like half a season or something.
Yeah.
because they're shapeshifters, right?
Yeah.
They can take the form of any hero. Or...
Yeah, but I think this is such a cool, like, and you have like the slow invasion over like 10 movies or something, 8 movies or something,
Yeah.
where you just see seeds of this planted every so often,
just
right?
a slow burn.
So because in the comics when they had this, it was eventually Hank Pym and Iron Man when Elektra got killed.
Yes.
They took her body, and her body morphed back into the Skrull.
Exactly.
Like, how cool would that be as another end credit scene,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You get this seeded through, and then someone dies, say Rhodey dies in Civil War,
Right.
Yeah.
and they bring his body back, and he's a Skrull.
Oh, that'd be huge.
Mind blown.
Yeah.
So they use this as a mechanism to bring back a lot of characters,
Yeah.
saying that the characters were killed, they were actually Skrulls, and
Yeah.
they were actually, the Skrulls had them captured and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you could use that, but I thought it'd be a really cool way to weave in a much larger story
For sure.
into the cinematic universe that you could take beyond your Thanos and stuff like
Definitely.
that, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. I like that. And you
Yeah.
have the Super Scroll.
Yeah.
Or, I guess, whoever you have the rights to.
Yeah, so they don't
Yeah.
have the rights to this, so
Yeah.
but I don't know if they could have done it with the Chitauri because they're basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't really use the Chitauri in the right way.
Yeah.
But I thought that would be really cool. And another thing that played heavily into this was the concept of the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
How cool to be to have an MC, and I'm still hoping that this can happen. You know,
Yes.
it's a bit contrived to have like this, group of superhumans or whatever that control kind of everything. So I wouldn't want them to go retcon things back, like the reason that this happened was because the Illuminati made it happen. And they did do that in the comics. They went all the way back to like the Kree-Skrull Wars, and
Right.
they showed that the Illuminati had their hands in kind of everything. They were responsible for this. They were responsible for that.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to just have Illuminati kind of form out of, say, a Civil War or something like that. And they're kind of controlling things, or maybe form out of an Infinity War or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're kind of in the background. They're kind of doing things. They're the ones, because in the comics, they're the ones that send Hulk into space.
Yeah.
And this concept of having, because it's like, I can't remember the original ones, but like the more current version is like Xavier,
Black Panther.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange,
Reed
Black
Richards.
Bolt, Reed Richards, and Tony Stark.
Tony Stark,
And
yeah.
Cap's kind of out of there, and then you get some other characters kind of throughout.
Yeah.
I think it'd be just really cool to have kind of this, and it's, again, these are just, most of these concepts are just little end credit seeds, right?
Yeah.
You just have like, Tony's walks into a room and sitting there, like you just pan over and sitting there at a table is Doc Strange,
Yeah.
T'Challa,
Black Bolt.
Huge.
but like, because you have the rights to the majority of
most
these
of them.
characters, right?
Yeah,
With the exception of Reed Richards.
And Xavier. That's
Xavier,
it.
yeah.
Everyone else
And
they have.
So you could have like this like power group
Yeah.
that is like, okay guys, we're here to solve the problem of the Hulk.
Yes.
Something like that. Just
Yeah.
an end credit and boom, you're done.
Exactly.
And there's your Illuminati. You're getting
Yeah.
seeds of different stories, stuff like that.
I would love to see
Yeah.
it on the big screen.
That would be
That's-
so
those are
great.
two of my favorite
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And again, there's something, they don't have to have a movie. They could just be small seeds once in a while, right?
Yeah.
Just for the fans, and just kind of building something, because at some point they have to start building a post Infinity War
Yeah.
slate, right?
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? And this is the same thing with the X-Men universe.
Yeah.
What do you do after you go through your big bad?
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
the person you've been building to for what? Like, it's going to be like 15, 20 movies or something by the time they get to Infinity War.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is the kind of stuff I'd love to see them start to
Definitely.
seed.
Yeah.
I really do hope by then, though, I say we, like I'm with Marvel Studios, but I hope Marvel Studios has...
If you're listening.
if they have the rights back to Fantastic Four, because I think the way their deal works is if they don't make a movie within every 4 or 5 years, those
2 years.
Oh, it's 2. Okay,
I think
awesome.
the X-Men's 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
I think, or that's start production or something like that.
It goes right back to Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at this rate, there's no way those guys are going to make any Fantastic Four movies. So,
Whoa,
if
let's
they get
not
those
hold
rights
up
back-
hope here. Those
we
things
get
are coming
if-
back.
If they get the rights back, we could, possibly see Doctor Doom, and Doctor Doom would be such a great
Oh,
villain to get to
yeah.
that ground level. It'd
Yeah.
be phenomenal. Yeah.
Unreal.
It'd
Doctor
be
Doom in the
great.
MCU.
Yeah.
It'd be great. Yeah.
Jeez.
Kind of brings
Yeah.
me to my MCU one would have been Secret Wars.
Nice.
The no-brainer. Bring back Fantastic Four.
Yep.
And maybe have them set up as kind of outsiders.
Yeah.
So you have Doctor Doom, you have Galactus, you have Mole Man, or whoever else the big villains, Silver Surfer, one side, and then you need the rest of the MCU on the other side.
Yeah.
Because those are some big villains. Those are the biggest villains in the MC universe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's where I would go. I maybe even get Fox in on this. Be like, hey guys,
Never.
never say never.
Yeah, you're
Bret
right,
Hart
you're right.
returned to wrestling, so to the WWF.
I
So
would love
never
to see
say
that.
never.
I'd love to see. I hear so much. Like Sony and Marvel have a decent relationship, but Fox and Marvel do not get along.
No.
Yeah.
We did get a DC versus Marvel comic, so it's not
Yeah.
out of the realm of possibility.
That's true.
And Hugh Jackman wants to do it. You know,
Yeah.
green talks. So this movie would be 2-3 billion
Yeah.
if you threw in X-Men, you threw in Spider-Man, you threw in Fantastic Four, you threw in Iron Man, Captain America,
Yeah.
Secret Wars.
But then how do you see, the funny thing is, how do you decide who wins? How do you decide it's okay to have Captain America punch Cyclops in the face?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
who decides that, right? It's
The
like a
fans.
tricky-
Yeah.
the fans, yeah.
Excelsior!
I would love to see it happen.
So going to the cosmic side of things.
Cool.
Yeah.
One of my favorite events of all time.
Yeah.
Dazzler?
Yes. T Swift, step up.
She's supposed to be playing
I
Dazzler.
know.
Can we all agree that's a brilliant idea?
It is. It's fantastic marketing. Annihilation.
Cool.
So this is the cosmic event that kicked off, and I've talked about this, I know, almost continually when we talk about our favorite comic book lines. It's 2006, 2007 event. It was happening during Civil War and happened outside of the knowledge of Avengers, of X-Men, and all sorts of stuff. So Annihilus from the Negative Zone basically starts invading with the big annihilation waves, starts invading the galaxy. And you essentially have all of the different planets, the Krees, the Skrulls, you get all the Guardians, kind of, not as the Guardians of the Galaxy, they're acting as basically one giant army, like this big galactic army against the annihilation wave, and they're just getting decimated. And it's such a cool story. Like, and you have continuity through, 4 different miniseries that go with it, and you get spinning out of that Annihilation Conquest and eventually the Guardians of the Galaxy. But just this idea and concept of this massive kind of galactic battle,
Yeah.
where you're having these natural enemies like the Krees, the Skrulls, and some of these other guys, and there's little units that are mixtures of Krees, Skrulls, of the different Chitauri, like not Chitauri in that, but you could have that in the MCU, and just all these different planets banding together
Nice.
to fight this kind of massive galactic scale war. I just think
Cool.
it'd be really cool. Like I kind of imagine a bit like, not as campy, but like Starship Troopers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You're sending out these big waves and they're fighting these giant bugs and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
nice.
It's just, I thought, a really cool concept, and like I'd highly recommend going and checking out Annihilation, because it's really what kicks off
Yeah.
Marvel Cosmic again, and that's
Awesome.
something you could stick out into the cosmos and that of the MCU and not really affect what's going
Right
on.
on
Right?
Earth.
Yeah.
And so
That'd
it'd be a
so
cool concept to go forward.
You
with.
could have like the Inhumans in there maybe too, eh?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could. Yeah.
That's really cool, yeah.
Awesome.
And what about, I know you read this, and I think Troy, you read this too, the recent event Infinity.
Yeah, I was just thinking
Oh.
that if you
Yeah.
could combine that with Infinity
Yeah.
War, where Thanos has some sort of other event taking place in space, and then
Yeah.
Thanos takes that opportunity to go to Earth
Exactly.
unguarded.
You could have the Annihilation Wave.
Yeah.
So it's in the comics, Infinity, I think it was 2013,
Yeah.
is you have the Builders, and the Avengers leave Earth
Yeah.
to fight with kind of a galactic army. And while that's happening, this big battle against the Builders, you have Thanos be like, okay, the Earth's right for the taking, I'm
Yeah.
going after
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he invades Earth and takes over Earth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so how cool, how cool
be
would
so
that be?
cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
Just, part of me thinks that something like this is going to, not quite on the galactic scale, with the, Thanos entering the picture in Earth, like something's happened, like, okay, the Avengers are gone,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so it's my time to come to Earth,
Take
right?
it.
And
Yeah.
take it.
Definitely.
Because we've lost these people that since Avengers we've been fighting with, right?
Yeah.
And so I think they're going to be taking a little bit from this.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think this event, because this was a really well done event.
Yeah,
It's
it is
another-
really
Oh,
current.
yeah.
Yeah, you said
yeah, it's a
2013.
Hickman event, and so it's really dense writing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I think it's, this is something that you could weave in. And out of this spins the Inhumans, right? Because
Yeah.
Black
Yeah.
Bolt sets off the Turgina bomb, stuff like that. So you could see very similar things with this. But
Yeah.
some sort of combination of Infinity and Annihilation, I think would be really cool.
That'd be
Just
really cool,
I'd
yeah.
love
Yeah.
to see, we have these great superheroes on Earth. I'd love to see more of what's going on outside, like in the galaxy. And this is where
Definitely.
you could bring in a Silver Surfer,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
a Galactus sort of
Yeah.
threat, or something
Yeah.
like that. Something I want to see an enormous scale. Like I'm thinking like Star Wars enormous battle scale.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You have think Return of the Jedi, but with Marvel characters in the sense that you have a ground battle going on a planet. You have a space battle going on in space, and then you have maybe a more personal battle going on with like a Star-Lord and a Thanos or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Just like all these battles going on at the same time, but this is contained within kind of the MCU.
No,
right?
huge.
You have Silver Surfer flying all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Thanos is lieutenants and all this kind of stuff. I think you could do something really cool
That'd be
with
That'd be awesome.
this kind of concept.
see all those heroes in one film.
Yeah.
Or probably a 2-part or something like
Yeah.
that.
It's probably a 3-parter.
It would be an enormous movie, right?
Yeah.
But like this, I'm talking like cosmic scale is what I'd like to see on this.
Yeah.
That's probably $750 million in production budget.
Production budget, yeah.
Right there.
Because that Infinity you're talking about, was that one written just after the little Thanos short?
Yeah,
short
so it's
series
kind
we
of
had,
written
the
all at the
origin
same
story?
time, right?
Yeah,
It's-
that was a great one too.
just
that's
explaining,
awesome.
a bit.
Yeah.
So it's kind of he's come to Earth and he's kind of looking for all his son and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I had one more. It's kind of smaller. It was just is another Spider-Man one. It was the death of Jean DeWolf. It's a detective that Spider-Man's pretty close to, because if you guys know much about, well, obviously everyone knows Spider-Man doesn't really have the closest friends or allies with the police services, but he has this one detective that he's pretty close with, but you find out she's actually corrupt and she actually gets killed.
Ooh.
So Spider-Man goes out on his own kind of hunt for, I think, the Sin Eater, who's initially killed her. But you also get Matt Murdock on there, who's kind of trying to ground Peter Parker, Spider-Man himself, and Spider-Man losing that edge, that great power comes great responsibility. So it'd be a kind of neat way to bring Matt Murdock into the movies. I don't know if they'll ever do that, but that's just a kind of smaller one, a little small scale kind of movie.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys out there listening have any sort of ideas that you think would be really cool for them to adapt either arcs or characters they can see in the MCU or the DCCU, let us know. Maybe we'll discuss it in the next couple of podcasts.
Yeah, send us an email, tweet, Facebook. We do have Facebook.
We're on Facebook.
Instagram us.
Tweet us on Twitter, I guess. Hashtag enter the nerd room.
Yeah.
Let's let it trend. So before we finish off, should we do some of our challenge in the spirit of March Madness?
I think it's a great idea. So we have all these pools and all that kind of stuff going on. Everyone that loves basketball and all that sort of stuff. So we set this a couple episodes back. We set up this ongoing contest of champions, as we called it, where we're battling out 100 of the top comic book movies. And so we're at round 2 here. So you can catch us at www.challenge.com/thenerdroom. I'll throw it up on the info in our description. All right, we're going to bulldoze through some of these.
Cool.
All right,
right.
start at the top.
Okay.
Started at the top, now we hit. So what's the number one?
Dark Knight vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Duh.
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. Men in Black vs. Rocketeer.
Men in Black 1. Men
Yeah.
in Black.
Men in Black.
Men in Black. Spider-Man 1 vs. Flash Gordon.
Oh, Gordon's
Spider-Man.
alive? Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Scott Pilgrim vs. Spawn.
Ooh, Scott Pilgrim for me.
I'm going to go Spawn.
Scott Pilgrim.
Cool.
Wow. Okay, so we're going to have to get, as we said, we needed 3 votes to get this one to move on. So send in your picks for that one, and that one might move on.
Spider-Man 2 versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2014.
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2. X-Men versus Wanted. X1.
Oh.
X-Men.
X-Men.
Yeah.
Batman Begins versus Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
They have a dance scene of Batman Begins?
Batman Begins. Kingsman versus Blade.
Wow.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go Blade. That's tough, though.
Yeah, that's
Jeez.
jeez. I'm gonna go Kingsman.
And
Cool.
Kingsman too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those,
Okay.
That's a good one.
Those are good.
Send
Yeah.
in your
That's awesome.
answers.
Yeah. Avengers versus 300: Rise of the Empire.
Avengers.
Yeah.
Avengers.
The Amazing Spider-Man #1 versus the Wolverine.
Oh.
I'm going Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, shocker there.
Yeah, shocker.
I'm going Wolverine.
Oh, it's all coming down to me. You know, I think I am going to go Amazing Spider-Man.
Cool.
Just felt the stakes were higher in that
Nice.
one.
Yeah.
Sin City versus Dread 3D.
Oh,
Oh.
that's a good one, too.
Wow.
Sin City. Sin City 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sin City for me.
Sin City, yeah.
I'm going to go Dread.
Cool.
Yeah, I felt Sin City dragged on a little bit in the middle.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Age of Ultron versus The Crow.
Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron.
Yeah. X-Men Days of Future Past versus Punisher
Yeah.
Warzone.
X-Men.
Yeah, Days
Yeah.
of Future Past.
Watchmen versus 300.
Oh, the
Whoa.
Zack Snyder Bowl!
Whoa, this is tough. This is good. Man, I'm gonna go Watchmen.
Watchmen.
Ah, there you go.
It was a tight
Nice.
one,
That
but
is- yeah.
That was a tough one,
Watchmen.
yeah. Superman 2 versus Constantine, Keanu Reeves.
the deuce.
Yeah. Spider-Man 2.
You're Superman.
That's what I meant. V for Vendetta versus Batman Returns.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, Batman Returns.
Batman Returns.
V for Vendetta.
Cool.
Yeah.
Ooh. Guardians of the Galaxy versus Men in Black 2.
Ooh, Guardians.
Here comes the Guardians.
I was gonna say, I thought you were
Galaxy! You should have seen the look on Tim's face.
I was gonna slap you.
He just slapped away my Batman action figure.
Red versus Man of Steel.
Oh, Man of Steel.
Man of Steel. Oh, yeah.
Ant-Man versus Cowboys and Aliens.
Ant-Man.
Yeah,
Ant-Man.
Batman versus Blade 2. Batman 89.
Oh, man. Batman 89.
89, yeah.
Yeah.
Batman.
Oh. Don't make me choose. I'm going to go Batman 89.
Nice.
Superman 78 versus X-Men Last Stand.
Oh.
Superman 1.
Superman
Yeah.
1,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thor versus The Mask.
Ooh, the mask. For me. Yeah, I love the mask. I wasn't big on Thor 1. I like Thor 2, but the mask I thought was brilliant for what they did.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. And
Jim's
It was
Carrey.
Yeah,
good, I'll give you
yeah.
that, but it's still
they even
Thor.
had the figures.
Yeah.
I'm saying Thor. What do you
Yeah.
got?
I'm going to go Thor on this
Yeah,
one.
that's
But
cool.
Mask was pretty
I
good
thought Mask
too.
was
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises versus Fantastic Four 2005.
Ooh, tough one.
Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises.
FF.
What?
Just kidding.
Oh my god, I just about slapped your Ant-Man. You tell your girl it's an Ant-Man and then it grows into Giant Man.
There it is. I'm going to miss this for the next couple weeks. Hellboy 2
hilarious.
versus Incredible Hulk.
What was that one?
Hellboy 2 versus Incredible Hulk.
Oh, Incredible Hulk.
Hulk.
I'm gonna go Hellboy too. Guillermo.
Yeah.
Iron Man versus Green Hornet.
Oh, Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Man.
Yeah.
Iron Man 3 versus Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass for me.
Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Tim?
I'm torn.
Yeah. Is Iron Man out or is it still having hopes?
Iron Man 3 was a...
I'm going to Kick-Ass.
Right.
Oh,
Oh! Iron Man. Call him Rust Man.
Yeah.
I don't know. That one's going to hurt me later, I would imagine. X2 versus Amazing Spider-Man.
That's
I
the
thought we
second one?
did Amazing Spider-Man 2,
I
or...
might have messed that up.
No, I think it's the second one.
There must
is
be
it?
Amazing Spider-Man 2, that one, eh?
Nope. I must have messed up. The other one must have been... Oh, yeah, it is Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
You are correct, Troy.
So, for me, X2. Yeah.
X2.
X2, yeah.
Iron Man 2 versus Captain America, the First Avenger.
Oh, this one's gonna be hotly debated.
Ooh, I'm going with Cap.
Really? I'm
I
going
liked Iron Man 2 a lot, but Cap, especially after seeing Winter Soldier, just makes you appreciate Captain America with number 1 more. For me, someone Cap.
to go Iron Man 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that one. I
Yeah,
like it way more than
I think
3.
it's underrated. A lot
Yeah,
of people hate
definitely.
on it, but
Yeah, I know.
I think
I
it's a
love that
pretty
one.
solid, entertaining movie.
I really like that one.
I agree, it's underrated,
Yeah.
Iron Man 2, and it does a lot of universe building.
Yeah.
I have to go Cap 1.
Oh, look at that. The 2 team caps over here. You know, Troy, I forgot to ask you, because you're such big Spider-Man guy. Does
Oh, yeah.
that sway your allegiance towards Team Iron Man?
Yeah, it did,
Yeah?
definitely. Yeah, it did.
Oh!
Leave me in the dark!
but I'm hoping Spidey's gonna join Cap after.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
See the light.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, last couple here. Winter Soldier versus Daredevil 2003.
Oh, Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Deadpool versus Thor: The Dark World.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
tough
Deadpool
one.
for
Yeah,
me. Yeah,
Deadpool.
Deadpool, yeah.
You know what that sets up for the next round? Captain America Winter Soldier versus Deadpool.
Oh, that's gonna have to be debated.
That's like a whole
That'll be good.
episode.
That'll be nice.
X-Men First Class versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, some mod or another.
Doesn't matter
The
which
first
one.
one.
It was still the X-Men for me.
I'm going with Turtles.
Wow.
Oh, wait, First Class. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was Last Stand. Oh, definitely First Class.
Yeah, First Class. First Class.
Yeah.
And our last one here, Hellboy versus Big Hero 6.
Oh, Big Hero 6.
I'm going to go Hellboy.
Yeah,
Cool.
Hellboy too.
Yeah, cool.
All right, that wraps it up for round 2.
Nice.
So
Yes.
round 3 here coming up is the big one, or one of the big ones. Like Sunjay mentioned, we're going to have Winter Soldier versus Deadpool, and there's going to be a couple of other hotly contested matchups.
Cool.
Yeah, looking
So-
forward to it.
Yeah, we're going to try to, we'll try to hammer some of these out. We'll have to have Sunjay pass on some of his...
Well, I don't hope I
his
don't
votes.
pass on.
No.
Once Sunjay dies, then we'll continue.
I'll rephrase that. So it doesn't sound so much like I'm counting on his death to finish this.
This is what we meant by last episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Little
is
did
truly
you
his
know.
last crusade.
Surprise, everyone.
Yeah, I'll post those back up, all the votes here. I'll go back through and we'll look for our listener input here. And we'll get going on those and we'll jump into the third round sometime soon, but maybe before the end of March Madness here.
So make sure you guys put in your list, because as Tim said, we need 3 votes to move on for a specific movie. So if you're a fan of Iron Man 2, get your list in there. If you're a fan of Cap 1, get your list in there so we can get that third vote and get the correct movie to move on.
So we got a busy couple weeks ahead of us here, guys. We've got Daredevil dropping this week.
Yes.
Okay, when's that?
So that's Friday it drops.
Yeah, 18th.
Interesting, they dropped it on a Friday.
Yeah, so it's for the weekend.
Yeah, get you ready for Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're going to be reviewing that next week.
Yes.
Sanjay's going to be taking a little sabbatical here.
Yes.
So we wish him all the best.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Him
much,
and his
guys.
family
Yeah,
from the
you're gonna
Nerd
do
Room
great.
here.
Thank you.
And we're looking forward to seeing the little one, maybe having
Special
them
podcast.
on the show.
Yeah.
and then following that, we got Batman vs. Superman. So potentially the return of Sanjay to the podcast as we review that the following
Might
week.
be a phone call in.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah,
returns.
we can do the phone call in for sure.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll see if we can get maybe another special guest on
Yeah.
to do Batman vs. Superman. Then we're moving into con season. So we got the Calgary Entertainment Comic and Entertainment Expo coming up here.
Yeah.
We do have media passes for that. So we will
Nice.
hopefully be doing some interviews with some of the guests.
Who did you con into giving us media passes? Hello, I am Tim from Marvel. I would like to attend your Comic and Entertainment Expo.
These are legit. So there's some cool people showing up. We got
Absolutely.
Michael Day, the guy that plays Luke Cage,
Yeah.
Stan Lee, Charles Soule. So a lot of good creators, a lot of interesting media guests as well. We'll be running around the floor for a couple days.
Yeah.
We'll give you guys updates via Twitter and stuff like that. We'll give you a little more information as the time gets closer as to, we still have to submit who we want to interview. And
Right.
the likelihood of us getting anyone is quite slim still, but
Yeah.
hopefully maybe we'll get to interview at least a few creators.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'll be
absolutely.
lots of fun. So we'll be posting that. And then we got Civil War. We're going to be doing a Civil War review of the comic book series. And then we'll be doing the Civil War movie review as well. So we have a busy couple months coming up here, guys, and lots to look forward to on the podcast.
Yep.
A lot of fun, and
Shout out to Izzy out there for coming in last episode.
Yes.
Yeah, greatly appreciated. That's a great run. So thanks
we're
again for showing up.
Standing ovation.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's fun.
Yeah, we'll
Love talking Star Wars.
Yeah, we'll definitely have Izzy back here sometime very soon.
We're
Yeah.
going to talk Star Trek.
Oh, yeah. Star Trek. They're going into reshoots actually again.
Yeah.
Movie, so.
Yeah.
Good luck, Star Trek.
All right, guys. For the Nerd Room, I'm Tim.
I'm Sunjay.
I'm Troy.
And thank you for entering the Nerd Room.
We missed that last time.
That kind of sounded like a cat that time. Can we try that again? Okay,
No,
ready?
I'm leaving this all in.
No.
Yeah,
Ready? Let's try this
I'm
again.
not taking any of this out. Are you running over a cat now?
I'm rusty. I missed last week.
All right, guys, we're out. Don't forget to subscribe and rate and review us on iTunes. You can find our hosts Tim, Sunjay, and Troy on Twitter at TheNerdRM, 1912 Podcasting, and Troy, TheBoy87.